Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Premium Stock Car Racing League here on the evening. A great field of drivers ready to rock and roll once again. Here in this one as the action is about to come right at you, and the amazing racing is going to be in full swing here from the beautiful High Banks in North Carolina. It's Concord as we get ready to rock and roll. We get ready to set these drivers loose. You guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to set these drivers loose. Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a good time, ladies and gentlemen. We are in for a treat here on the evening. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in as we get ready. Go to battle here. America's home for racing. It is going to be an amazing race here this evening, and we are ready to set them loose. As qualifying coming to a close, these drivers will get loaded into the sim down on the front straightaway, and we'll get ready to go green flag racing here in just a few more moments as they'll get loaded in behind the official iRacing pace truck. And we'll get ready for some absolutely amazing action here on the evening, man. Woo! This is going to be a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. How's everyone doing here on this fine Saturday evening? Hopefully everyone is enjoying their day. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their weekend. Let us know up in the chat right now if you guys are doing anything special for the weekend. Maybe you're at the Daytona race right now. Maybe you're watching that Daytona race at the same time. Maybe you're getting ready to, jump into the sim yourself, run some laps. Maybe not quite this league, but any of the other leagues. Or, let us know who you're cheering for. Who do you want to see up here in victory lane? Is my boy Kevin Winker. Mr. Winker coming in, showing the love over there on the Facebook channel, coming in with that heart reaction. How are you, Kevin? Kevin coming in, showing the big love over there on FB as well as we get ready to set them loose. We get ready to go green flag racing here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a good time. We got a great group of cars, a lot of fast drivers ready to rock and roll. You can see on the scoreboard up above, we got 200 laps of racing action. Now, 200 laps, that is a lot of laps here at Charlotte, so it's going to be a bit of a long one. And that's why this is the Premium Stock Car Racing League's endurance race here. So it's a little bit more of an endurance race, a little bit more time in the simulator for these drivers, a little bit longer of a broadcast, but they're going to be able to, really get the hang of these cars, really run some good green flag laps. We could see an abundance of green flag pit stops out there on the speedway, as well as drivers are going to have to come down pit side, make sure they get the correct amount of fuel in their cars, and then strategy could become a big factor in this race. It's going to be cool. The sun's already starting to set here at Charlotte. That means that the track is going to have a lot of grip. It's going to be very fast. It's going to be very racy. We're going to see multiple lanes come in here, and we're going to see drivers from the white line on the very bottom up to the outside fence, rolling right through the middle, and it's going to be a lot of fun as we get ready to go to battle. Is my boy Frank Ranger, Mr. Ranger, coming in, showing the love. What's good, Frank? Frank coming in, showing the love in this one. My boy Craig Michael Deacon coming in as well. What's good, Craig? Craig coming in, smashing that thumbs up on the broadcast. Frank says, what's up, peace? What's up, Frank? Coming in with the heart reaction as well over there on Facebook as we are live, not only on FB, but over on YouTube and over on Twitch right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let us know in the comment section who you want to see up here in victory lane on the evening as we'll get ready for our starting lineup. Is Ryan Peterson. What's good, Ryan? What's good, Mr. Peterson? Coming in with the wave over there on the YouTube stream, coming in, showing the love here. I appreciate that, brother, coming in, showing the love in this one. And starting on the pole in the number 57, it is the Shades of Ricky Bobby, the Me Machine. That is Grant Applegate. His outside in the HendrickCars.com number 2, it's Landon Burbage. They're in second. Starting in position number 3, in the number 5 ride, that is Josh Crider. To his outside, the 88 is the Phoenix Esports ride of Dylan Carrier. Starting in position number 5 on the speedway, it is the Gaston's iRacing paint. It is the Scott Bloomquist Memorial car. That is Jonathan Gaston. To his outside, the Jack Daniels 79, it's Danny White. Then we see Brian Underwood, Evan Stewart, Melvin, Brent Brewer, and Jordan Crider rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. As we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation, we quickly go green flag racing here from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. Quickly, the 57 of Grant Applegate will lead us down into corner number 1. He'll try to lead us out of corner number 2 as the 5 ride looking to his outside. Couldn't quite get the run that he needed, but he'll drive it down low and see if he can find a lane on the bottom side of the racetrack. Applegate will take the high lane. Josh Crider down low. He is going to move into our race lead here on our opening lap. So the 5 ride of Josh Crider will lead lap number 1 here from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. Applegate back there in second. Landon Burbage in that third position. We see Dylan Carrier right there in position number 4 and looking for more. There's a few more drivers deeper in the field here. We see Thomas Hovarth there in that 54 ride. He's up inside the top 10 already in this race. Jaden Porter in that 74 ride right there, as well as Jordan Hand working themselves just inside the top 10. It's their 3 wide contact. Hang on to it, the 1 ride of Jordan Hand down through the infield, down pit lane, able to keep that car pointed in the right direction. No caution flag, but damage early in this race for the 1 machine as he goes down the racetrack here and now goes from inside the top 10 to outside the top 20. A tough break right there, an early contact, early damage there, and a little bit of contact and damage there as well for the 74 ride as he was able to hang on to it, keep that car pointed in the right direction, but hopefully not too much damage for the 74 of Jaden Porter. The 69 of Jordan Crider right there behind him as we see Evan Stewart, Chris Stange in that picture. Stange trying to work himself up towards the top 10 in the 29 ride. Aiden Lucas there in 14th with William Conley there in that 15 or the 25 machine in the 15th position. John Ashby in the 71 back there in 16th. We see Ben Gleason in the No Luck Motorsports 66. Nathan Brook over there in the 18th position. He's got the Winker Nation, the 42 of Kevin Winker right there in the 19th spot. Here on the speedway is Farrell Robbins, Chris Getz, and the number 1 rider, Jordan Hand, now bringing up the rear of the field is the Optic Gaming number 1 ride. Luckily enough, able to keep that car pointed in the right direction. No caution flag. It was lucky for the rest of the field, but unlucky for this 1 ride as he finds himself now way back here, and some damage on that car is out in front, retaking the top spot away here from Josh Crider. Grant Applegate out in front. This Ricky Bobby inspired number 57 ride. He's looking very, very fresh, very fast here already in the early portion of this race. But as the sun is starting to set, it's starting to get a little bit cooler. The track temps are going to go down. So drivers that may be a little bit quicker early on in this race, maybe a little bit tighter, maybe a little bit looser later in this race. So they tend to go to the tighter side as the sun starts to set here. So drivers that are a little bit loose right now, maybe on the edge of it, they are right there, and this track changes the way it does in real life NASCAR like it normally does here on the simulator. You know, these cars are going to get a little bit tighter as the sun starts to set, and it's going to make their cars that much better. Where drivers that may already be a little bit tight, their cars are going to get tighter and tighter and tighter as that night goes on, to where they're going to be trying to loosen their cars up. They're going to be trying to do different things down pit side. They kind of stay with the racetrack, stay with the temperature difference, and trying to make sure that they make the right adjustments to keep their car in that perfect running condition where they're not going to be too tight, they're not going to be too loose. You want to be right there in that happy place that you can really control this car and maneuver around the speedway and run in multiple different lanes, especially if you're through the middle of the pack. You want to be able to kind of, you know, run the low lane, run the high lane, run it through the middle, wherever you need to kind of move out there on the racetrack to put yourself into good positions out here on the speedway to really set yourself up for a big evening here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As right now we know the Coca-Cola 400 is going on in the real life NASCAR race. They're there at Daytona International Speedway. So far we've seen some pretty good craziness there. About 60 laps left to go in that race, and you know, we'll try to keep you guys a little updated. Right now they're under caution flag. We got some bets on that one too, so we need some long chances to win this one. You know, I'm talking Justin Haley, Josh Berry, you know, maybe John Hunter Nemechek, Austin Hill, you know, some of those guys, JV McLeod, we get some money on them. Not a whole lot, but enough that, you know, if we could hit one of those guys, if we can get an upset win there in Daytona, that could put us into a big winning day here on the evening. So that's what we're hoping for. We got some money on some of the other, you know, major guys, Larson, Logano, and, you know, Bowman, some of those other guys as well. Just kind of a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, enough to cover all my other bets. So we'll be sitting pretty before the end of the night, as long as just one of the random ones don't end up winning it. But right now, if you're putting money on this race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, your best bet early in this race, if you're looking for an early cash out, it would be that 57 ride of Grant Applegate. As Applegate looking very strong here in the opening laps. Here in this one is the Premium Stock Car Racing League back in action here on the night. And the I Want to Go Fast Me number 57 ride is at the front of the field and trying to stretch out that lead more and more, as he's got about a second between himself and the 5 ride of Josh Crider. Crider, who we saw lead the opening lap, lead a couple laps there in that 5 ride, now settling into position number 2 here in that Gaston's iRacing Graphics ride. A little bit of a gap back to the HendrickCars.com number 2 of Landon Burbage, is Burbage sitting there in 3rd. Then we see Dylan Carrier there in 4th. Melvin Brengruer there in position number 5 on the speedway here, up 4 spots early in this race. The 84 ride and the DRD machine working himself towards the front of the field. The Gaston's iRacing paints in the Gaston iRacing Graphics number 6 ride of Brian Underwood up a spot here. He's in 7th. He's got Jonathan Gaston right there behind him. Danny White a couple spots back here in the 79 ride as he rolls in the 8th position. Jordan Crider up a spot here in the 69 as the rubbered up number 69 ride rolls there in 9th. And Aiden Lucas up 4 spots as well. Now finds himself here in position number 10 here in the Beyond Detailing number 77 ride. The Beyond Detailing machine looking fresh out there on the speedways. Chris Stange right there behind him in 11th. William Conley also up 4 spots early in this race as well. He's sitting there in the 12th position in that Firefox number 25. Thomas Hovarth there in position number 13 as the NJB Designs number 54 ride there in 13th. We see Evan Stewart, Jaden Porter rounding out our top 15 here. Jaden right there in that number 74 ride. We saw him have that early contact with the number 1 ride. Unfortunately, some pretty good contact there between both of those contenders. Unfortunately for the 1, he went down through the apron and was able to hang on to it, able to keep it out of trouble, but unfortunately still deep in this field, and he's going to probably need some help here to try to work himself back up towards the top 10. He's already made passes, though, on a pair of the Team No Luck rides, the Team No Luck Motorsports machines of Ben Gleason, who's back here in the 21st position, and Chris Getz right there with them in position number 22. So they bring up the rear of the field as Jordan Hand right there in front of them, and he's trying to run down John Ashby there in the 71, the 76 of Farrell Robbins, Nathan Brook over in the AC Delco number 8 ride, the 42 of Kevin Winker there as well in the Muleburger Custom Homes Camaro, rolling there in the 16th position. But Jaden Porter right there in that 74 ride looking good out there on the speedway early on in this one as Porter. We get a good look here at Mr. Porter here on the speedway as my boy Bionic Man coming in, showing the love there on the Facebook stream as well, as you get a good look at the 74 ride rolling out here on the speedway. We'll see if we can jump on board with him, give you a look around this speedway as he heads down across the start-finish line. He's going to roll it here into corner number 1. Now he's going to run a little bit more of the middle lane here, middle to bottom, not quite right down on that white and blue inside line, and not up against the outside fence either, where some other drivers will choose or elect to try to run the extreme high side around the speedway, especially as this race goes on. You can find a ton of speed, a ton of momentum up there against that outside fence, and right now Porter rolling just a little bit more of the middle area of the speedways. This car slowly but surely coming to life out there on the speedway, as these cars are looking very good, very fresh out here on the racetrack. These drivers doing a great job, and I appreciate each and every one of them for coming in, making sure we get some webcams here right in front of this 74 ride and see the 37 of Evan Stewart getting into the outside fence there ever so slightly. But yeah, once again, we appreciate all the drivers. We got a lot of different contenders out there on the speedway that are giving us looks here with their webcams. They're all kind of coming together, making this happen, putting us into a good position here as you get a good look right here at all the different webcam angles, all the different drivers there that are giving us looks here at what they're doing on the speedway, how they're maneuvering around this racetrack, dealing with caution flags and everything else. And I do believe they usually have a YouTube up where you guys can get a look and a live look at these webcams as well with the broadcast beside it. I don't know if they're doing that still on the Premium Stock Car Racing League's YouTube page, but if they are, make sure you guys check that out. I don't know if they are or not, but definitely give you a good look throughout the race. You can see a little bit more of the emotion as things are happening right away, as normally we're seeing it as it happens, but normally we don't have the webcams up. But right now, Grant Applegate looking very good here at the front of the field. His Bionic Man coming in, showing the love with that like on the stream as well. I appreciate you coming in, showing the love over there on the FB broadcast, and showing the love here on the evening with a couple comments. I appreciate that, brother. As right now, man, we're seeing some great racing, some great action out here on the speedway. Nothing but green flag here so far throughout this race. And you guys haven't already, give it up for all these drivers, man. Hit the like button on the broadcast. Share it out to your friends, your family, anyone else that you think would like this amazing racing action. Get more fans in the stands here to cheer these drivers on, to support all these drivers and all the hard work that they put in behind the wheel, and all the league admins in the league itself, as these guys put in a ton of work to really make this thing work and to make every weekend an absolutely amazing weekend here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League, and making all these shows possible here week after week after week, and to show a little bit more love and more viewers for all of our sponsors, as well as we want to showcase them as much as possible and to as many people. Every like, comment, and share helps us get towards that, gives us a little bit more algorithm. So if you're watching, drop a couple comments, hit that like button, smash the heart button on the stream. Help us grow a little bit more, help us bring more fans in the stands here and more eyes in the sky for all these drivers and our sponsors. As Grant Applegate continuing to lead the way here, but Grant running into some connection issues right there. He was not wrecking into the outside fence, but unfortunately was having some connection issues there out of quarter number 2, as we have seen John Ashby head down pit side here. So Ashby came down, made a pit stop. He's rolling back out onto the racetrack now in the 71 ride. So as he gets that Camaro down to pass the commitment code and to re-enter the racetrack here, unfortunately he's already one lap down, so he's going to need this one to cycle through, have more drivers head down pit side, or he's going to need a caution flag to give him that wave around and try to get him back onto the lead lap. And now we'll really get a good look here as well, as drivers are falling off almost about a second and a half here from earlier lap times. So the lap times are really starting to come into effect. Tire wear really starting to hinder some of these drivers and their abilities out there on the speedway. Last time by, our race leader was a 32.18. Right there behind him, Landon Burbridge was a 32.04. So Burbridge right now is one of the faster cars out there on the speedway. Same with Aiden Lucas. Lucas is looking very, very fast right now on the speedway, and as drivers start to dip down into those 32-second, 33-second area, we may see more and more drivers head down pit road and try to make some changes to their rides. As John Ashby, we'll see where he kind of stacks up here with the rest of the contenders with that with the extra clean tires and fresh tires is the 29 ride. Here comes Chris Stange down pit side. The 76 Farrell Robbins also down pit road. Here is the Band of Brothers 76 machine down pit road as well. So some different pit stops, some different pit strategies possibly going to play a major factor in this evening's race. So it's going to make for some interesting action out there on the speedway. When do you come down pit road? When do you make that commitment? And how long can you stay out there before it's not going to work for you? You got to have a period of time where it's going to work, a period of time when it's not going to work. As you see, once again, Grant Applegate running into those connection issues down through the corner as Landon Burbridge trying to hunt him down. Burbridge right there in position number 2 in the 2 ride as Burbridge in that second spot. He's trying to hunt down our race leader. He's been able to close the gap here. It's about 0.6 of a second between himself and Applegate as Applegate continues to lead the way. Burbridge right there in position number 2. Josh Crider back there in third. He's about 2.3 seconds back behind our second place driver, about 3 seconds behind our race leader is Melvin Brengruer continuing to work himself towards the front of the field. And you see Brian Underwood and Aiden Lucas right there as well. Lucas has worked himself up 8 positions early in this race in the Beyond Detailing 77 ride of Lucas there in position number 6 on the Speedway. He's having himself a great day so far here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. See Danny White, William Conley right there as well. Dylan Carrier, Jonathan Gaston, our top 10 out there on the Speedway. And as you look at some of these drivers that are coming out onto the racetrack here that have those fresh tires, they're actually not quite running faster lap times than the rest of our leaders. So I'm not sure if these fresh tires are paying off for them or if they even got fresh tires at all. Maybe potentially just getting fuel only, trying to make quick pit stops here as we do see another wave of drivers head down pit side. William Conley, one of those first drivers down pit road. Dylan Carrier down there as well, and Thomas Hovarth also coming down pit side as well as Hovarth there in that 54 machine. As see if we can get a look at one of these drivers down pit side, as we do believe we got Dylan Carrier here. So we can take a look at Dylan Carrier trying to come down here on pit road. Let's see if we can get a good look at this 88 ride as we'll jump right in with him here onto the cockpit view and see him kind of going through the gears, going through the cameras here, and making sure that he kind of gets that car rocking and rolling once again onto the speedway. As there you go, Horvath right there in front of him. As Horvath is going to come out just in front of this 88. You'll get a good look right there. He's got the VR on here. He's kind of locked in. He's trying to turn that wheel and get this car hooked back up, pointing in the right direction. Now he's going to go through these gears. Now, a lot of these drivers, they have hand shifters or paddle shifters on the steering wheel. A lot of drivers elect to run the gear shifter on the side as well. So different driving styles, different wheels, different abilities here, and different setups. We've seen some drivers run, triple monitors or single monitor. We've seen drivers with the VR. So tons of different drivers doing different things here, but they're all doing a great job out there on the speedway. And right now, Dylan Carrier trying to catch up to the back bumper of this 54 ride as he sees the NJPDesigns.com number 54 rolling right there in front of him. Is my boy Derek Cat, Mr. Cat, coming in, showing the love here with the like on the stream. How are you, Derek? D-Rock coming in, showing the love here this evening as you see Carrier taking a look to the inside of that 54 ride. A great race here. And they're back in about the 18th, 19th position as they're waiting for this pit cycle to kind of cycle on through. And you see the 2 ride rolling back out onto the racetrack here. So coming down pit side a little bit later than some of these other drivers that were right there behind them. They're going to be able to leapfrog that 2 machine here and get in front of them. We'll have to wait and see if they can leapfrog Grant Applegate. Is Applegate yet to come down pit side here himself as he still rolls at the front of the field. We'll see where he's going to come out, if he comes or when he comes down pit side, and how quickly he may be able to get back to the front of the field as he's rolling out there. The 57, the Ricky Bobby inspired ride, not going to come down pit side this time. So we'll have to wait and see how all this strategy will play out and work in their advantage as Brian Underwood, another one of those drivers that came down pit road. We see drivers like Thomas Horvath and Melvin Brengruer. They're running again in the 30-second bracket, where our race leader is still running in that 32-second bracket. So giving up 2 seconds, 1 second every single lap, that may hurt you in the long run as these drivers continue to roll out there on the speedway. Those drivers are going to give up a lot of track time here. And there you go. Here comes our race leader, Grant Applegate, coming down pit side. So when Applegate comes back onto pit road, he'll have a little bit better tire than those drivers that are already out there, back out there onto the racetrack after their first green flag pit stop. But how much of a difference is it going to make? Is he going to be able to try to catch those guys, catch back up to those guys, be able to make those moves and work himself back around him? As Aiden Lucas now to the point here. He leads the way as Aiden is our race leader. Aiden Lucas out in front here, showing these drivers how to get it done. As, ooh, baby, things getting tight there in the NASCAR race as Josh Berry, hopefully going to do a good job here on the evening, could put me into the positive by quite a bit here. We can see that 4-ride pick up the win, but we got some great racing here ourselves. See the 79 ride, Danny White still out there, yet to come down pit side. Aiden Lucas has made his way down pit road. So isn't the 74 ride of Jaden Porter. Porter down pit side here as well. He'll pull into his box as the 77 ride of Aiden Lucas will leave his pit stall. Out in front, Danny White able to reconsume this race lead. Here is the 88 ride. One of those drivers that already came down pit side, that is Dylan Carrier. So Carrier will blow by the 79 and put himself back onto the lead lap. Be a little bit of a sigh of relief there for the number 88, but there you go. You see Aiden Lucas come back onto the speedway. These drivers under power are going to work around him, but he's going to come out with a little bit fresher tire than the rest of these guys. So you see Danny White, our race leader, just losing time here, lap after lap after lap. Now he's really got to worry about all these drivers that are racing around him with those fresher tires. See the 69 ride slow on the speedway there as well. Looks like Jordan Crider running into some issues here in the 69 ride. Let's take a look and see what happened to the Viagra rubbered up ride as he gets very loose at a corner number 4. He actually goes sideways almost into the safer barriers right there. Gets stopped on the bottom side of the racetrack. Luckily enough, no caution flag on the speedway. We're able to keep it clean and green as he gets rolling here. I'm amazed we didn't see a yellow flag right there. But that one is going to severely hurt that 69 ride. That is going to put him behind the ball quite a bit. Those are the incidences you do not want to have out here on the speedway. And for the 69, that could potentially put him a lap down, could potentially take him out of an opportunity to gain track position or anything else out here on the speedway. And this could really hurt his chances of finding victory late here this evening. But we do see the yellow flag fly now. So the yellow flag is going to be displayed now. As I'm not sure what this caution flag was for. Let's take a look at our lap times as we are back to live here. We are back to live. There we go. Yeah, lap 40. So we are at stage number 1. So stage number 1 is coming to an end right there. That is the caution flag. Stage 1 coming to a close. So drivers that were staying out here are going to be able to pick up some stage points when you look back at Danny White and the 42 of Kevin Winker, Jonathan Gaston, Brian Underwood, all getting some stage points here. Grant Applegate, Ben Gleason, Josh Crider, Dylan Carrier. A lot of these drivers getting some stage points here. Josh Crider there as well, Melvin Brangruer. We see some of them already headed down pit side. You got to imagine that gas was very, very low for these drivers, as that was extending that pit strategy quite a bit right there. And I think that they may be just rolling down pit side. You see quite a bit of damage on the back end of the 72 ride, but you see him kind of wiggling the car, trying to get this thing down to his pit stall here. Still trying to keep it rolling, He's got no fuel in it. I think the damage on the back end is probably from getting pushed to see if he can even make it to pit lane. So I think he's going to get that car cleaned up. The 5 ride rolls in there as well. So different pit strategies, different runs right there, and that may really mix up the front of the field here with these strategies and where people finish here for these stages, as the 72 will get rolling here once again. Let's see if we can play this back a little bit and see if we can see really where this damage happened. Is I think he was just getting shoved down the back straightaway here. It's the Old Dogs Racing number 72 ride, the Gaston iRacing graphics ride, still has that damage. This may have been from quite a bit earlier in the race as well, as it seems like he's had it for quite a few laps here. So Potentially damage from early on. Contact between somebody's front end and his back bumper as more drivers head down pit road here. Coming back down pit side as Thomas Horvath is going to be our race leader here. You do see some drivers out in front of our lead car, the 54 ride of Horvath. They're looking for wave arounds here, trying to get themselves back on the lead lap. That would be the number 74 of Jaden Porter, Farrell Robbins, John Ashby, all looking for those wave arounds to try to get back onto the lead lap. Jordan Crider, he's also a lap down right now as well, back there in the 20th position. Nathan Brookover down a lap or so. Chris Getz down a lap. He's looking for that wave around in the 87 ride as in front, Horvath is going to get ready for this restart. He is going to get ready to try to put himself into a winning position as we'll get a quick word in here. Stage number 1 coming to a close. We'll get a quick word with our sponsors over at NJB Designs.
Revolutionize the way you see your car with the hottest trends in sim racing. At njbdesigns.com, we specialize in transforming your vehicle into a work of art. Whether you're looking to add a sleek matte finish, a flashy chrome accent, or a custom design that turns heads, our designer has you covered. Imagine winning in a car that reflects your personality or promotes your business and style. Choose from a wide range of colors, textures, and finishes to suit every taste and occasion. Why settle for ordinary when you can stand out from the crowd? Visit njbdesigns.com today and let our team of professionals bring your vision to life. Transform your car, transform your journey, and be a champion, and choose us.
Alrighty, as we're going to get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here as drivers looking for those wave rounds, getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. We did see Thomas Horvath come down pit side here, so he elected to come down a little bit later than the rest of those drivers, and that will put him back into the 12th position as out in front, going to lead us down to the green flag, the 6th ride of Brian Underwood, the Gaston's iRacing Graphics Premium Stock Car Racing League number 6 ride. Going to get ready here for the first restart of the evening. Dylan Carrier there to his outside in the 2 ride. Then we see Melvin Brangruer, Grant Applegate, Kevin Winker, our top 5 here on the Speedway with William Conley there in 6. Aiden Lucas, Chris Stage, Landon Burbridge, Jordan Hand, Ben Gleason, our top 10 out there on the speedways. We'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. See if we can jump on board here with the 69 right now. We'll have to wait and see because he's trying to stay in that free pass position. He's going to have to try to race pretty hard right here. But we're going to get a great look here at this number 69 ride out on the speedway. Let's see if we can get a good camera link of this Jordan Crider machine. There we go. We're going to get a great view here at Crider out there on the speedway as he's going to get ready for this restart. Going to try to keep himself out of trouble, keep that car pointed in the right direction, and see if he can try to stay right up here, you know, towards the top 10, top 15 here on the speedway. See if that can put him into that free pass spot if we see another quick caution flag for this number 69 ride, as that's what he is banking on. He wants it. He knows it. He's got to come home and see that yellow flag fly and be in that free pass spot to even give himself a chance here to get back onto the lead lap on this restart. As we receive a caution flag and he was not in that free pass spot, he would unfortunately stay a lap down, as there's going to be no free passes or no wave arounds here during this next one, as you see them get kind of bunched up again together. A little bit of strategy there. Now up and through the gears here for that 88 ride. He's going to try to put that throttle down, staying right to the back bumper of the Team No Love Motorsports number 66 ride right there in front of him. Great run down this back straightaway, building up some more speed, some more momentum, trying to stay right there with that 66 ride. As the 5 ride of Josh Crider works to his outside here. So Crider's out there battling on the speedway, but the 5 rider, Josh Crider, find a little bit more speed. He's able to cut through some of this traffic where the 69 ride possibly a little bit of damage from that spin, maybe just a little bit older tires or wore out tires from that action as well. He is unfortunately not able to move forward here, but he's able to kind of keep pace right there with those guys and keep himself in this free pass position out there on the speedways. The next car behind him that is a lap down is Jaden Porter in the 74. So Jordan Crider knows that he's got to try to keep that 74 back there behind him and hope for a early caution flag here on this second stage of the evening. And stage number 2 underway. We give a shout out there to the number 69 of Crider as he gives us a great look there inside the camera, inside the car here of what he's doing on the racetrack, as these drivers giving us a great race here at the front of the field. As out in front, Brian Underwood hanging on here as we do see the 84 rider Melvin Brengruer get up a little bit too high up into the outside fence, and here you go. All these drivers going to blow right on by him. That loss of momentum, the loss of speed down through 3 and 4. He goes from inside the top 5 now outside the top 10. As out in front, Brian Underwood leads the way here, but Kevin Winker Nation, stand up, give him a round of applause, and let's see some hashtag Winker Nations up in the chat right now as Kevin Winker is going to go for this race lead. The 42 of Kevin Winker, the Muleburger Custom Homes Sonic Graphic Designs, number 42, will take this race lead away, and we get a new race leader here on the evening. So Kevin Winker to the point, but here comes Chris Stange right there as well into that second spot here. Stange trying to work himself towards that front of the field, as well as Brian Underwood trying to hang on here and stop sliding backwards as William Conklin there in position number 4 and looking for more. And here you go, back up inside the top 10, and here at the front of the field, up inside the top 5, looking to go for the top 4 here is that one ride of Jordan Hand. Hand has looked like he's had a ton of speed in this race, but we saw him have that contact out at corner number 4 and down the front straightaway with the 74 ride of Jaden Porter. Lost control of that car, went down through the infield, almost made contact with the inside wall down pit road. Able to keep that car out of trouble, able to keep it pointed in the right direction early on in this race. And he's been able to rebound nicely here, and now working himself up into position number 4 and looking for more as Landon Burbage right there behind him. There's Burbage in that 2 machine. William Conley back there in 6, and here comes the early race leader here on the evening, leading a lot of laps there throughout stage number 1. It is that 57 of Grant Applegate. Applegate now up into 6 here, trying to get a good run on the outside of this 25 ride as he's trying to work himself back inside the top 5 and back towards the front of the field. If anyone's going to be able to do it, it's going to be Ricky Bobby out there on the speedways. That 57 ride now into position number 6 here on the speedway, clear of the 25. We'll see if he stays right in line here in this middle lane or if he'll jump in behind the 2 ride and see if he can try to work himself around this 6 machine of Brian Underwood as Underwood continues to slide backwards. There we go. He's going to take a look underneath him as Landon Burbage does as well. And Jordan Hand already around that 6 ride up into position number 3. So the Optic Texas, the Optic Gaming number 1 ride up into position number 3 here as everybody's trying to hunt down this beautiful number 42 of Kevin Winker, as Winker continuing to lead the way here on the evening, having himself a great run here at the front of the pack is Chris Stange there in 2nd, Jordan Hand, Landon Burbage, and now Grant Applegate, our top 5 here on the speedway. Josh Crider able to work himself now up into 6 here as he's kind of rebounding there throughout that pit strategy and getting that 5 ride back up towards the top 5 as he's right now in the 6th position in that 5 machine. Brian Underwood, his teammate, right there behind him. Conley falling back there to 8th as Aiden Lucas trying to hunt them both down as the Beyond Detailing 77 ride rolls there in 9th. And then we see Melvin Brengruer. He's going to be our 10th place driver for a split second as Ben Gleason will work around him. The No Luck Motorsports ride will jump up into 10th as Brengruer slides back to 11th. He's got Dylan Carrier right there behind him as the Phoenix Esports number 88 rolls there in 12th. Danny White back there in 13th. Evan Stewart there in 14th. And Thomas Hovarth there in position number 15. Hovarth there in that 15th spot on the Speedway. You see the 72 of Jonathan Gaston, Farrell Robbins there in the 76. The 76 rider, Farrell Robbins, is now the first car one lap down here on the Speedway. So right now the Banda Brothers number 76 of Farrell Robbins in that free pass spot. He wants to see that caution flag fly. If he can get the yellow flag to be displayed, that could potentially give him that free pass back around and rejoin the lead lap cars. Jordan Crider trying to hunt him down, trying to put himself into that position. May need a couple caution flags here himself. Same with Nathan Brookover, Jaden Porter, Chris Getz, and John Ashby, as it looks like Ashby actually left the racing surface. So Ashby off the racetrack here and no longer rolling out there on the Speedway. So we'll have to wait and see if he can find his way back to the racetrack here, as he didn't have any major issues on the 71 ride. Just unfortunately fell back there during that first stage. Lost a couple spots, and unfortunately deep in the field, a couple laps down, is looking that car down behind the wall. So a tough break there for John Ashby as he continues to roll out there on the Speedway. Yo, Uncle Bot coming in, showing the love. How are you, Uncle Bot? Coming in, some matching that like on the stream as well. How are you, Mr. Bot? Coming in, showing the love. As Beyond Detailing says hello, Beyond Detailing. How are you this evening? Coming in, showing the love over on the YouTube stream. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys haven't already went and showed us some love over on the YouTube channel, make sure you guys hop over there right now. Go drop us a subscription on the YouTube broadcast, as we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers over there on YouTube. We are getting so close to it. We're so close to hitting that 1,000 marker over on YouTube. Even if you guys are rewatching the broadcast or anything else, show your friends, show your family, your co-workers, you know, your buddies at the bar or anything else. Show them the amazing content here on Peacemaker Gaming. Get them to, you know, come over here, drop a subscription, become part of the Peacemaker family to be able to enjoy all the amazing racing action here. As it'd be really nice. I set the goal up to try to hit 1,000 subscribers here before September, and you know, we're about 6 days away from that number. So I mean, within hopefully the next 6 days, we can find those final few, you know, subscribers to try to help us hit that goal of you know, of 1,000 subs. Absolutely insane. Is right now out in front, Kevin Winker continuing to lead the way. Winker at the front of the field. Jordan Hand there in second. Chris Stange in third, as Grant Applegate back up into position number 4 and looking for more here on the Speedway. He's got Landon Burbage right there behind him. Is Burbage trying to work himself up here as well, as they were running 1 and 2 on the Speedway before the start of those green flag pit stops and before the end of our stage. But here they are a little farther back, trying to rebound from the, you know, different strategies, the very varying different strategies there throughout that first stage. And you see Josh Crider, William Conley right there, Aiden Lucas back in 8th, Ben Gleason, Brian Underwood, our top 10 here on the Speedway. But it's all Winker Nation here at the front of the field, and Jordan Hand doing a great job as well. Hand right there in position number 2. We documented his issues early in this race and early on the afternoon, and you know, what happened to him, you know, early on, how that affected him, and being able to rebound quickly at the Speedway to put himself back into this, you know, really good position and put himself back at the front of the field here. As, woo, baby, we see some great racing here. These guys are doing a great job, man. We've only seen one caution flag. It wasn't for incident out on the Speedway, even though we did see a little bit of incidents out there. We saw a little bit of beating and banging, a little bit of battling, but you know, at the end of the day, so far we've seen just nothing but good, hard green flag racing for these drivers, for these competitors. One caution flag, 4-stage break, and by the looks of it, we may only see another caution flag for the stage break here at lap number 80, I do believe. Is lap 80 is caution flag number 2 for the end of stage number 2, where we'll get ready to pull in our stage 2 winner for a little in-race interview. And I do apologize there, a little cough right there. It's choking on myself there just ever so slightly. But yes, lap 80 is our stage number 2, and then we'll have 120 laps for that final stage to figure out who's going to end up in victory lane, who's going to put themselves into the winner's circle here this evening. So could get very interesting, could be very wild finish to this race. And if we see it go clean and green like we have for these first 2 stages so far, could really open things up here, could really, separate this field, can really break things up, especially when we start to see green flag pit stops happening again. I don't think we're going to see any green flag pit stops before the end of this stage, as I think a lot of drivers probably realize that that might have been a mistake, as drivers were able to stretch that fuel out and make it to the end of that stage, and it kind of trapped a lot of drivers a lap down out there on the racetrack. So with that being said, I think this time we're going to see drivers kind of just roll out there and not make those mistakes, not come down pit side. But interesting if somebody decided to, maybe in the final closing laps before pit road becomes closed for these race leaders. Maybe we see the 42 of Kevin Winker or Jordan Hand, or maybe multiple of these drivers up inside the top 5 now being able to stretch their lead out more and more and more, and maybe a little bit more ideal to come down pit road and not worry about the stage points, not worry about the playoff points that could be awarded, and just, try to see if they can win this race or set themselves up better for the start of that final stage of the evening. As Kevin Winker leads the way, Jordan Hand right there in second, Chris Stange rolling there in third with Grant Applegate, Landon Burbridge. Our top 5 is Burbridge there in position number 5 on the speedway. You see William Conley here, one of our hard chargers on the evening, along with Winker, Hand, and Ben Gleason up through the field here, up double digits on the speedway from where they started. So starting position, hasn't really been a major factor here for a lot of these drivers to start this race, as we've seen a lot of drivers move forward. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of drivers move backwards here early on in this race as well, but that could all change in a heartbeat, as anything can happen here in the split-second decisions these drivers have to make out on the racetrack. The 5 of Josh Crider there in 7th, Aiden Lucas there in 8th, Ben Gleason back in 9th, and then we see Danny White in the 79 ride. He is there in the 10th position. Underwood, Evan Stewart, Melvin Brenger, the 88 of Dylan Carrier, Jonathan Gaston, Thomas Horvarth there in position number 16, and then Farrell Robbins still in that 76 ride. Our first car one lap down here on the speedway. Jordan Crider trying to chase down that 76, trying to put himself into that free pass spot, especially knowing that there is only a few laps to go here, about 10 laps until we see that yellow flag fly here once again to finish off our stage breaks here for the evening. So with stage number 2 coming to a close, to be that car in that free pass position is a big deal to get yourself back onto the lead lap, especially when we haven't seen a single caution flag yet on the evening. 4 incidents out there on the speedway. We may not see another one after this stage break, so you may be trapped a lap down for, a long time, or for even the rest of the race if you're not here in this free pass spot. If you can't get that bonus to get back around and onto the lead lap here, you may be out of luck for the rest of this race, and I think that's what's on the back of the mind here for this 76 ride, knowing that he's got to keep himself here in the free pass spot. Jordan Crider, who's trying to chase him down and trying to hunt him down, same with Jaden Porter in that 74 ride, and Nathan Brookover. They all know they got to try to get back there, as we do see the caution flag fly. Yellow flag out on the speedways. It looks like Chris Stange running into some issues here. Chris Stange in the number 29 ride, going to run into some issues. Let's play this back just a little bit, as you see right here behind him and right in front of him, a big dive bomb here. The 1 ride of Jordan Hand jumping up and taking this race lead away from Kevin Winker. So Winker on the outside, Hand on the high side here, or Hand on the bottom, Winker on the high side. And you see that little bit of contact, a little bit of a move, ends up putting the number 1 to the front of the field here. But right there behind him, you see this number 29 of Chris Stange. He's going to have the 29 and the 2 ride catch up to him in a quick hurry. I think we're just going to see a little bit of contact right here, right there, into that left rear quarter panel. 57 ride goes up the racetrack, makes that contact with the 29 ride, and that spins Stange around here. And as he goes around, I'm not sure if he makes contact with that outside fence. He does a great job keeping it out of the fence here. Now he's got to hope that nobody else collects into this wreck. He's going to roll down the speedway here, and luckily enough, nobody else is going to get into him. That could have been a whole lot worse for that 29 ride, parked sideways there on the speedway. Driver's side door exposed here to oncoming traffic, and that is not a fun spot to be. As you look here at that car going around, staying out of that wall as well. great piece of driving, but look at all these drivers that are coming right out of driver's door exposed. Luckily enough, everyone able to avoid them, able to stay out of contact there and keep that car in one piece. Unfortunately, that's going to burn through a full set of tires there for him. We do see some drivers already heading down pit side. So you see Grant Applegate, Jonathan Gaston, Brian Underwood, Aiden Lucas, all down pit side here as we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Our stage is going to come to a close here, but I do believe we're going to have a quick break here to take a look at our sponsor, NJB Designs, and then we'll be right back here for some more racing action as the sun is setting here at the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll be right back here after this message.
Revolutionize the way you see your car with the hottest trends in sim racing. At NJBDesigns.com, we specialize in transforming your vehicle into a work of art. Whether you're looking to add a sleek matte finish, a flashy chrome accent, or a custom design that turns heads, our designer has you covered. Imagine winning in a car that reflects your personality or promotes your business and style. Choose from a wide range of colors, textures, and finishes to suit every taste and occasion. Why settle for ordinary when you can stand out from the crowd? Visit njbdesigns.com today and let our team of professionals bring your vision to life. Transform your car, transform your journey, and be a champion, and choose us.
Alrighty, we're going to get ready to rock and roll here once again, as at the front of the field, continuing to lead the way is now the one ride of Jordan Hand. Hand is our race leader. Kevin Winker there in second, as we see Josh Crider a little farther back in that 5 ride. Let's see if we can get Josh up here into the broadcast booth. Let's see if we can get a good look here at I think Josh is right there. There we go. There's Josh. Great looking cam there for him. Let's see if we can get him up here into the booth quickly for a little in-race interview as this stage coming to a close. It'll be very, very interesting to see if he can work himself into, possibly that winner's circle here this evening, or possibly getting this win on this stage. Let's see if we can get Josh up here. Hey, Josh, It's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Hey, I got you, brother.
Josh, brother, so far this Gaston's iRacing graphics ride looking very, very fast out there on the speedway. He's going to lead a couple laps early in this race. Some different pit strategies, putting you a little deeper in the field here, but coming up to the close of stage number 2, what do you got in store here? Do you think you can try to get yourself to the front of the field here or pick up some big stage points to finish off this final point stage?
I'm going to try to kind of stay where I'm at now. We got some people coming up on fresh tires that just pitted. If I could finish top 6 to 7, I'll be happy. The car's running pretty good. I've just been taking it easy, kind of saving some stuff. So we'll see how it plays out, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Now this track's starting to change quite a bit out there as the sun has fully set here at Charlotte, and now going from a little bit of daytime to nighttime. What changes can we expect out of these race cars?
The pace is really leveling out as the run goes. About 15-20 laps into the run, the tires have evened out for everybody. So if you're going to get something, you got to get it early. The tire conservation, the degradation is not as bad as what I thought it would be, but it's pretty rough at the same time. So I'm worried about the 2 and the 42 here on this restart. I'm hoping that they don't cause a bundle wreck here, and we'll see about the guys coming from the back. So time to go green. I'll talk to you later.
Absolutely, brother. Good luck out there, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth before the end of the night.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Josh Crider as he's able to jump in here, give us a quick little in-race interview there, and give us a good look at what he's going to do out there on the speedway, what's going through his mind as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here for the couple little lap shootout here. We got a couple laps, and we got some time here for these drivers to try to make some moves, try to work themselves a little farther forward, try to hang on to it, and try to keep themselves out of trouble here on the speedway. So it's going to be very interesting, to say the least, on what these drivers are able to do to try to put themselves into the top spot as we go back to Green Flag Racing. The green flag quickly back out into the air for the one ride of Jordan Hand. Hand looking for stage win here on the evening, but we go right back to the yellow flag. The yellow flag coming right back out here. I'm not sure what may have happened, but it looks like Chris Stange may have ran into some issues here once again. We'll see a few more drivers off of the speedway back here behind him. So let's take a look here as a lot of drivers run into issues, and it looks like it starts with the number 54 ride. That is the 54, Thomas Horvath, as Horvath on this restart actually starts even farther forward. Let's take a look here at the 37 rider, Evan Stewart, the purple and yellow car on the outside here as we go back to green flag racing. The 37 may just spin the tires. He spins the tires, washes up the racetrack towards the outside fence. See the 88 rolling around him, the 84 check it up here. Big run from the 6 ride, gets underneath the 54 of Hovarth, who unfortunately gets into the 29 of Chris Stange, and that washes him up over the nose of the 29. Gets up into the outside fence, and you see the 69 and that 29 coming together. Drivers have to go down through the infield to avoid some of these drivers getting into each other, and that will bring the caution flag right back out as soon as we go back to green flag racing. So it didn't take long to see another caution flag, and our second caution flag for incidents here on the evening, as there you go, you see Stewart losing control of that car. Then you see Stange right there, Hovarth getting collected, and unfortunately for these drivers, just really a lot of damage, a lot of carnage. We'll see what we can see here from the number 29 ride. Let's see if we can get a far chase look at this one. This will give you a great look right there as contact down low between him and the 69 ride is some pretty good damage right there for Jordan Crider. Pretty good damage as well for that number 29 of Stange as well. So tough break for a few of these drivers out there on the racetrack, and a quick caution flag means quick pit stops here by all these drivers coming back down pit side. So some of the drivers that stayed out are now down pit road, as I do believe stage number 2 is going to come to a close here during this caution flag. So the second stage coming to an end, and Josh Crider there giving us a look around the racetrack and out there on the speedway. A good shout out there to Josh for having the webcam on, as man, definitely not what a lot of those drivers that kind of came down pit side, what they were really hoping for. They wanted to see some good green flag laps right there. They wanted to try to battle back to the front of the field and see what they could do here late in this race to be able to put themselves into possibly a better points position for those stage points on the evening. Unfortunately, things coming to a close a little bit sooner than they would like, and that means we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go here for this restart. So trying to get them stacked up again. We do see the 69 ride headed back down pit side. Jonathan Gaston going to stay out here, but Evan Stewart down pit road. Farrell Robbins down pit side as well. They're loving this as they were able to get some free passes and back onto the lead lap here. So good break there for Farrell Robbins to be able to get back onto the lead lap. And I believe, I'm not sure who else may have gotten the free pass there. Jordan Crider got collected in that wreck, so I do believe Nathan Brookover may have gotten the free pass back onto the lead lap, as Jordan Crider still a lap down out there on the speedway. So not the break that the 69 ride was hoping for, as big wreck in the NASCAR race. The 34 ride almost upside down. Wowzers, that was absolutely wild. Joey Logano collected in that one. Thank God I cashed out on that bet. Woo! Larson with some pretty good damage, though. Hopefully not too much damage there. I didn't really have much on him, but a lot of other drivers right there. Tons of damage, but big wreck there in the real NASCAR race. Big wrecks here in our race as well, as we can say big wrecks. Only 4 or 5 cars collected or got damaged there in that caution flag that we just saw, but you know, that's big in comparison because we haven't really had too many incidences out there on the speedway here. As leading the way, Jonathan Gaston going to get ready for this restart. Brian Underwood there in position number 2. Grant Applegate will restart here in third with Aiden Lucas, the Beyond Detailing 77 ride there in position number 4. And looking for more here on this restart, Landon Burbage there in position number 5. Kevin Winker going to come back down pit side, and so isn't Jonathan Gaston. So Gaston headed down pit road. Kevin Winker down pit side as well. Melvin Brengruer, William Conley coming back down pit road. Chris Stange, Nathan Brookover all making additional pit stops. Jordan Crider, Chris Getz down pit side as well. So possibly A little bit of fuel strategy here as the lights are off the official iRacing pace truck. This could potentially kind of mix things up here as these drivers, you know, are coming down pit road as that the lights are turning off on the official iRacing pace truck. This could potentially be a big move here by some of these drivers. They're getting those fuel tanks absolutely filled up, potentially putting themselves into a position to run a little longer before coming down pit side. And every single time you can save a little bit of fuel, gain a little extra here, maybe a shorter pit stop on green flag pit stops, the first one that we have, maybe a little bit shorter, which could gain them some positions on the speedway. And if we see green flag pit stops, maybe those extra little bit of fuel could potentially lead them to a fuel run where they can make it to the end and pick up a checkered flag by just hitting these stages, these caution flags correctly. And could be a big move, could be a big strategy call here. You know, we're still going to see, I think 40 laps is about the most that we're going to see here. So we're going to see these drivers come down pit side at least, you know, 2 more times here on the evening, maybe even 3 more trips down pit side before the end of the night. And now having that extra little bit of fuel may be a big difference maker between making it 2 more times or 3 more times down pit side, especially if we stay clean and green for the rest of this race. So we stay green flag racing the rest of this evening. It could potentially work out for some of those drivers that took that extra couple laps to come down pit side and absolutely fill their tanks on the speedway. As we are back to racing action, the 6th rider, Brian Underwood, leads the way, but quickly, here comes the 77 rider, Aiden Lucas. Aiden Lucas looking for this race lead is nice and easy down at a quarter number 4. He'll put the 77 ride back to the front of the field as the Beyond Detailing 77 ride will be at the front of the pack. The 6th ride of Brian Underwood there in second, going to work back down to his inside as the 57 of Grant Applegate. Josh Crider right there inside the top 5, and Jordan Hand back there in the 5th position in that one machine. Landon Burbage there in position number 6 with Dylan Carrier there in 7th. Ben Gleason, the No Luck Motorsport 66 ride, able to rebound pretty nicely here, has himself up inside the top 10. Danny White there in 9th, and Evan Stewart rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. Hopefully not too much damage there for that 37 ride, and the 54 will get collected there during that last caution flag. The 76 of Farrell Robbins back onto the lead lap here, looking to work himself up towards the top 10 now as he goes around the outside of the 54 and the 25 ride of Connolly here, as Melvin Brangerer back there in 14th. Chris Stange, we saw also get collected in that yellow flag there in 15th. Nathan Brookover was able to just get that free pass, able to work himself now into 16th. Kevin Winker, Jaden Porter, our top 18 on the racetrack, and I do believe that the number 74 rider, Jaden Porter, now in that free pass position. So he's the first car 1 lap down here on the speedway, hoping for another caution flag to potentially work himself back onto the lead lap. And then Jordan Crider back there behind him in the 69. He's looking to try to get around that 74 as he is still on the outside of the free pass looking in. So isn't Chris Getz and Jonathan Gasson, as Gasson has now scored a lap down here as well in that 72 ride. Actually a couple laps down here for the 72. So I'm not sure what happened down pit side, but he was down there for an extended period of time, and he is now at the back of the pack here in that 21st position as John Ashby still off the speedway and not racing out there on the speedway. Out in front, though, Aiden Lucas continuing to lead the way here, continuing to show these drivers how to get it done, as Brian Underwood there in position number 2. Grant Applegate back up into 3rd here. We saw Applegate lead a lot of laps in that first stage of the day. We'll have to wait and see if he can find himself a way back to the front of the field here. He's trying to hunt down that 6th machine and the 77 that are right there in front of him. But as he heard from our in-race reporter there during that caution break, we were able to get the number 5 rider, Josh Crider, up into the booth, and he says that these tires tend to really balance out around, 10, 15 laps out there on the speedway. So some of these drivers that have the you know, the last pit stop got some fresh tires there. They got to be able to take advantage of those fresh tires here as quickly as possible to put themselves, you know, towards the front of the field or better themselves on the speedway before these tires balance out and everyone kind of falls off and falls to about the same lap times out there on the speedway. So it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, when we start to see these cars fall off, when we start to see certain drivers that may fall off before everybody else. Will it be drivers at the front of the field that start to slide backwards, or will it be drivers, you know, a little farther back to take it easy on their equipment, maybe being able to move a little farther forward as well on the speedway? So it's going to be interesting to see how this one's going to play out. Do we see another caution flag? Do we see this go clean and green for the rest of the evening, as I do believe we saw the 72 ride of Jonathan Gaston go back down pit side again here on the speedway. So dealing with some handling issues and some damage for that number 72 ride. He's made a couple green flag pit stops now down pit road, and that's what got him multiple laps down out here on the speedway. You'll see Jordan Crider, who's on the last, he's a lap down already for the Robert Up 69 ride, but unfortunately he's sliding backwards right now. Not a lot of pace out of this number 69 ride, and unfortunately he's falling away from the rest of the lead pack here, and that's going to hurt his chances to try to catch up to the 74 of Jaden Porter and be able to try to put himself into that free pass position, as we'll get them all rolling here at the front of the field. As you see that 6 rider Brian Underwood able to work himself back to the outside of the 77, and he's able to put himself back into the race lead here. But door to door down the back straightaway, Aiden Lucas trying to hang on to the race lead, but the number 6 trying to take it back away from him. Grant Applegate right there ready to strike here as he's got his Toyota TRD Camry rolling there in third, trying to hunt down both those Chevys there in front of him, trying to figure out a way to get around those Camaros, as right now he's got us surrounded by him. Here at the front of the field is Jordan Hand and his Chevy there in position number 4, and Josh Crider there in position number 5. Battling door to door here with that 2 ride of Landon Burbage, as Burbage there in position number 6 on the speedway. Dylan Carrier there in 7th. Then we see Ben Gleason, Danny White, and William Conley rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway, as Brian Underwood there in the top spot. Now, we did miss something early in this race. Got into the action a little bit too quick here. We got right into the action. We missed a couple things here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to play here as we're actually about that halfway in, halfway to go marker here on the evening, as we're rolling up towards lap 100. I do apologize to Lonnie Crider. We do thank you. We appreciate you coming in and being a part of this league. I did miss this, as we're going to give you guys the opening
It's another
command
great
here.
night for racing here. Man, I'm so excited about watching them race again tonight. What great races we've seen so far. Once again, we'd like to thank all our sponsors, and especially our announcers, doing a great job getting all the information that we need when something happens. So, gentlemen, have a great race, and thank God for another day that he gave us to race. And gentlemen, start those engines and let's go racing.
Alrighty, a beautiful thank you right there again to Lonnie Crider. We completely forgot about that. Things moved very quickly here when we got into the simulator, and we totally forgot to play our opening command there by Lonnie Crider, and we do thank him each and every week coming in with those beautiful commands here on the evening. And Landon Burbridge as well. We normally play the beautiful opening ceremony, our national anthem there with the 2 ride. We'll make sure we get that in next week as well. I don't know why. I don't know where my head was. I don't know where my head was before this race. We were in the Discord trying to figure out driver cameras beforehand, and it just completely forgot off the top of my mind. Once I hit that go live button, I just completely forgot about that. So I do apologize to Landon, and I apologize to Lonnie as well for missing out on those beautiful videos that they give us each and every week. But out in front right now, the 57 ride, finding himself a way back to the front of the field here is Grant Applegate back out in front. The 57 machine at the front of the field here is Jordan Hand right there behind him, trying to take back position number 2 from the 6 ride of Brian Underwood. Hand right there door to door with that 6 ride, and here comes Landon Burbage in that 2 ride as well, as these tires starting to fall off here a little bit. We see the 77 ride of Aiden Lucas sliding sliding backwards. We see the 6 ride trying to hang on there for Brian Underwood. So possibly those drivers that were down pit side, even though it was only about, a straightaway of green flag racing and then some caution flag laps with the little bit older tires, a little bit cooler tires for those drivers on the restart, starting to come into effect. They're starting to slide a little farther backwards. The 57 washes up the racetrack. Here comes the number 1 of Jordan Hand. Hand going to take that race lead away as Grant Applegate, unfortunately, off the racetrack there at a quarter number 4, almost gets into the outside fence right there, and he has to get checked up, roll out of the throttle to keep himself out of the fence, and he's going to go from 1st to 5th here in a heartbeat as he's trying to get that car rolling once again, trying to keep this car pointed in the right direction here and keeping himself out of trouble. But it's Jordan Hand at the front of the field leading the way now. Landon Burbage back into position number 2 here on the racetrack as there's Brian Underwood. Dylan Carrier now up inside the top 5, so a good rebound here for the 88 ride, having himself a good run out there on the racetrack. Grant Applegate, Josh Crider, Aiden Lucas, Ben Gleason, Danny White, William Conley rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedways. We're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up as we are about to hit halfway in halfway to go here from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. There's 100 laps left here of racing action, and we're going to crank it up. So crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite driver, hit that like button, hit that share button as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Woo! Let's go, baby. Crank it up, ladies and gentlemen. give it up here for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up out there on the racetrack as they give us a look at the sights and sounds around Charlotte Motor Speedway. As we see some green flag pit stops starting up here as about 114 laps down here. We still got about 86 laps of racing action left to go, as we still got a long time before we see that checkered flag fly. But a great look there in the sights and sounds around this beautiful, beautiful racetrack. Getting a great look there at some of the webcams that these drivers have displayed for us, giving us a look at their perspectives in their cockpits, in their living rooms, in their gaming rooms, and everything else to get a good look and feel at what they're doing out there on the speedway. A huge shout out as well. We saw Josh Crider with the beautiful footwork there, as well as he has the double camera for the top side and the bottom side there, as we were able to see the foot pedals and the foot camera really working there on the speedway, doing a great job out there on the racetrack. As right there during that caution break, we did see over in the NASCAR race with only a couple laps left to go, Josh Perry upside down, a very, very heavy hit there for the number 4 ride. Man, that was a huge hit, a huge piece of driving right there for the 4 ride. Man, that was a heavy hit upside down, and it spun there for quite a while, and a lot of drivers got tore up. That's a tough break for me. I had some money on that 4 ride. He was up there. I thought he was going to win this race. Unfortunately, he is not winning this one. As in front, looking to win this race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, it is the 6 rider, Brian Underwood. Back to the front of the field here. Brian Underwood out in front. He continues to lead the way, as we've seen William Conley now down pit row. We already saw Josh Crider down pit side himself in the 5 ride. So he's unfortunately currently a lap down here on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see if he can work himself back onto the lead lap. If there is a caution flag, I do believe he is in that free pass position right now, but I'm sure he'd love to try to see this one cycle through. See all these drivers head down pit row. We do see our race leader, Brian Underwood, head down pit side here himself. So Underwood down pit side in that number 6 ride. So he's going to make his green flag pit stop here. Now we should see the drivers coming down pit road right now. They run about 35 laps, maybe 40 laps on a full tank of fuel here. So could be potential for drivers to make this a 2-stop pit stop if they can make it here a little bit longer. So we'll have to wait and see if drivers tend to try to stay out a little bit longer here, not come down pit side, staying out there on the speedway. Potentially we could see fuel strategy become the winning move out there on the racetrack instead of just pit strategy. So it could be a little bit of wildness here late in this race, especially if things stay clean and green. We don't see a caution flag to really mix things up or anything else. All these green flag pit stops could add up to either big leads, big advantages for other drivers out there on the speedway. Could potentially wind up being some wild racing for race leaders out there, and pit strategy coming into play. So it's gonna be very interesting, chat. We still got a lot of racing left to go here. We're already an hour and 20 minutes into the broadcast. We still got 80 laps of racing that time by the start-finish line here. So as these drivers have been out there rolling on the racetrack for an hour and 15 minutes here for this warm-up, or for this first 120 laps of the race, we still got quite a bit of time here. So we're going to be looking at least another probably 45 minutes of green flag racing here, if it stays green flag. As the 1 right at Jordan Hand trying to get down pit side there, getting very squirrely, luckily enough able to keep that car pointed in the right direction. No contact with the outside or inside wall down pit road, as Landon Burbage also down pit side here in the MDW Racing, the HendrickCars.com number 2 ride out there on the speedway. He is down pit side, and the Jack Daniels 79 also making his way down pit road as well. That's Danny White coming down pit side. So we'll see where everything shakes out here. Josh Crider, one of the first drivers to come down pit side here in the number 5 ride. We'll see if he can leapfrog a bunch of those competitors that he was racing with up inside the top 5. But we do see the caution flag come out here. So the yellow flag being displayed, caution flag coming out. Oh no. Now, this yellow flag does not show me what this caution flag was for, so this is going to be a bit of a guessing game. I'm not sure where the yellow flag's being displayed or what may have happened here. Just see the pace truck come out right there. I'm not sure what this caution flag was for, though. This is going to be an interesting one here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure where this caution flag comes out or what it comes out for. Applegate trying to get back onto the speedway. The 37 right there as well. These drivers are building up speed. I'm not sure if the 37 gets into the outside fence right here or what might have happened here to him. Caution flag comes out after this. This is going to be a bit of a head scratcher, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not too sure where this yellow flag is going to come out at or what it's coming out for. Interesting. Interesting. That's all I gotta say. Very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. This one's, not sure what this yellow flag's for. I don't see anyone having contact or going off the speedway. This is maybe Dylan Carrier, potentially the 88 ride. Down low here. Is he out of fuel? Is this what happening? Is that what's going on here for the 88 ride? Are we still under green flag at this point? No, we're already under caution. This is when Jordan Hand comes down pit road. Do right down pit side. And all these other drivers coming down pit side. I don't know where this caution flag came from, but okay. Nonetheless, we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. Chris Stange, our race leader, Kevin Winker, coming out here in position number 2 now. Number 1, I'm not sure where he's going to line up. Some drivers heading down pit road, other drivers staying out as here comes Jordan Hand, Landon Burbage down pit side, Grant Applegate, Brian Underwood down pit road, Thomas Hovarth down pit side as well as Horvarth down pit road, Ben Gleason, Jordan Crider, Ben Gleason there. We see Jonathan Gaston, Nathan Brookover, Stuart, Carrier, Gantz all down pit side. Interesting bit of turn of events right there for some drivers out there on the speedway, as that's going to mix things up here on the racetrack, as we'll see if we can get these other competitors out here onto the booth here for a little in-race interview. Let's see if we can get one of these drivers up here, Chad. Let's see if we can get one of these guys up here into the booth for some in-race perspective. We'll see if the 6th ride, the Gaston iRacing Graphics ride of Brian Underwood, if you can give us some insight here onto either what the caution flag was for or anything else. See if we can get the camera going here for Mr. Underwood as well and get him up here into the booth. Hey, Brian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Brian, brother, so far a pretty interesting race. The 6th ride seems to have quite a bit of speed. We saw you leading some laps there during that green flag run here, but caution flag coming out. Going to mix things up. Going to mix up the standings here quite a bit. You know, what's your feeling if they're on the racetrack right now? How's the car feeling? And how are you feeling here going towards the final stretch of this feature event?
I felt pretty good. I mean, I was pretty much running every different strategy between the stages there, between 2 tires, not pitting, and then taking fuel only there on the last one. I feel good with the long run. I pushed it a little hard last one to see what I had, and just kind of feeling out a few drivers, see who I can run hard and who I want to stay away from. And I think I got a good shot at top 5. That's basically my goal, and win will be sugar on the top.
Absolutely, definitely would be the sugar on top here. Now, we didn't see what that caution flag was for. Do you have any insight for us on that one, on what might have happened out there on the racetrack and who to look at? Because I didn't see anything on the monitor here on anyone going off the speedway or crashing or anything. So, a bit of a head scratcher right there.
Yeah, lap 120 was a stage lap. We had 3 stages with a long race.
Okay, that caught me completely off guard. I see the stages there. I just thought it was like 120 laps was the final stage, the length of the final stage, not the stage. Okay, that makes more sense now. Okay, it was a stage break. That that makes sense now.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that,
Okay.
that definitely caught me off guard. But now, final stage is in the books here. You're able to get some extra stage points right there as well. Coming down to the stretch of things here for this race, just under 80 laps left to go. How do you get yourself to the front of the field again? How do you put yourself into that winner's circle?
It's going to be all about saving tire and just being there. Have a good pit stop. I think it's been a lot of green flag stops. So I think it's going to be the same thing here. I got to save that right front and hopefully not mess up my pit stop and see where we go from there.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing how this one plays out for you, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth before the end of this evening. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up right there for the 6th ride of Brian Underwood. Underwood currently right now in the 7th position. Going to get ready here for this restart and get ready to go back to green flag racing. Okay, so that one caught us off guard there. We weren't sure what the caution flag was for, but we were definitely pretty positive on some of the other things that were happening there. So, it's going to be interesting to see, what is going to be the winning move here for some of these drivers. Who's going to be able to put themselves into the winner's circle here this evening on who's going to be able to pick up the win, as, man, Harrison Burton picking up the win in the 21 ride. Wowzers, that was a big win right there for the 21. Harrison Burton in the real-life NASCAR race at Daytona, just over Kyle Busch. I thought for a second there that Retzlaff was going to get that win. That would have been a big payout for me. That one kind of sucked. That last lap right there, a few of those guys making moves up there. I mean, the 77 was so close up there as well in the top 10, and then he's out of it now, and, oh, man, some more money in mine just going out the window, dang it. But, man, a great win there for Harrison Burton. As we go back to green flag racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, we're going to turn off the real-life NASCAR race, and we're going to put our full focus in here this evening to the rest of this race is Kevin Winker leading the way here. Winker out in front. Josh Crider right there in position number 2. Aiden Lucas there in that 3rd spot as the Beyond Detailing 77 ride chilling there in position number 3. William Conley there in 4th. Melvin Brengruer up inside the top 5 here as Chris Stange, Jordan Hand are top 6. See a few drivers in between them here. They are currently scored a lap down here. Unfortunately for those drivers, did not get the free pass, did not get anything here for them to put themselves into position here late in this race, and unfortunately those green flag pit stops may come back to haunt them here in their opportunity to pick up wins here, as we see Jordan Crider back here as well. We see Thomas Hovarth, one of those drivers, a lap down out on the speedway. Dylan Carrier, one of them as well, in the 88. Couple laps down here, man. It's going to be a bit of a battle here, as right now the final car on the lead lap is the 79 ride of Danny White. Danny White currently in the 11th position. Brian Underwood right there in front of him runs in position number 10. But everyone outside the top 11 is currently a lap down or more. So this is going to be interesting here. This is going to be very, very wild to see whether or not one of these other drivers, or if we see more caution flags, if these guys can work themselves back onto the lead lap. If we don't see another caution flag, they're going to be virtually, trapped a lap down right here, and they're not going to be able to, get themselves back into contention in this race. So there's going to be a little bit of a crazy finish, and it's going to be a great battle here, as well as we see battles at the front of the field. The 42 ride Kevin Winker actually starting to stretch out that lead quite a bit between himself and Josh Crider, but that battle for the free pass position heating up is the 69 ride of Jordan Crider. He's jumping up here. He's going door to door with the number 54, Thomas Hovarth, as Hovarth trying to stay in that free pass spot, but Jordan Crider trying to take it away from him. Just a little farther back there, you see the 66 ride. He's in that opportunity to work himself back onto the lead lap, as well as Dylan Carrier. A couple laps down here in the 88 ride. So 2 laps down here for Carrier in the 88 machine. Jonathan Gaston a couple laps down there in the 76. Nathan Brookover, Evan Stewart, both also 2 laps down, and Jaden Porter 2 laps down here on the speedway, as Chris gets multiple laps down in the No Luck Motorsports number 87 ride, and then Farrell Robbins and John Ashby both off the speedway. So 20 active drivers still out there on the racetrack, and only 11 of them are on the lead lap right now. As out in front, the 42 of Kevin Winker leads the way here as the MCHE, the Muehlberger Custom Homes number 42, continues to lead the way here this evening as Josh Crider back there behind him in position number 2. As you do see, that is the 72 ride in front of our second place driver here. So the 72 of Jonathan Gaston currently running in the second place order. You see the 88 right there as well. That's Dylan Carrier. They're both in front of our race leader. They're both actually have worked him. Well, the 88's worked himself now back to 1 lap down here on the speedway. Unfortunately, he's going to make up about 28 seconds to catch Thomas Horvath and the 69 of Jordan Grider and Ben Gleason. So he's still got a lot of work to do here, but the fresher tires for the 88 ride able to get him 1 lap down, now needing some caution flags to try to give him this free pass and back onto the lead lap. Jonathan Gaston right now looking to make his move around our race leader. He is going to make that move, and he is going to drive around the race leader, Kevin Winker. Winker out in front here. Sees a lot of fast cats right there behind him, but Winker going to give the 72 ride that spot. The Gaston's iRacing Graphics number 72 will go back to 1 lap down on the speedway as well, but right there behind him is this number 42, our race leader on the evening. William Conley up into second. Here is the Firefox 25 right there in second. Chris Stange up into position number 3. Jordan Hand working underneath of Josh Crider here for position number 5 on the speedways. Grant Applegate rolling there in 6th. Melvin Brengrud there in 7th. Landon Burbage in position number 8. The 77 of Aiden Lucas in 9th. And Brian Underwood rounding out our top 10. And rounding out our lead lap cars is the 79 ride of Danny White. His White rolls there in the 11th position on the speedway. But out in front, Kevin Winker trying to hold on to this race lead. There's a lot of fast cats, though, right here with them as the 42, the front of the field. They're right there with Gaston, not letting that 72 ride really run away and work himself back towards these guys, and he may potentially go a second lap down again if they keep putting the pressure on his back bumper. If his car keeps falling off, they may be right there to put him a lap down in a quick hurry. So he's begging for a caution flag as right now Kevin Winker begging for some extra speed as here comes the 25. William Conley going to try to drive around him door to door, down through 3 and out of 4. They're going to drag race back to the start finish line, almost making some contact there as down across the line. The 42 of Kevin Winker able to lead another lap, a little contact as they rub and scrub there down through the tri-oval, but the 25 ride looking for this race lead. He's kind of getting boxed in here with the 72 of Jonathan Gaston right there in front of him as well. Gaston's car was fast enough to go in front of our race leader, put himself back 1 lap down, but unfortunately, he's having a hard time trying to hang on to that right now as the Scott Bloomquist-inspired 72 ride out in front of our race leaders, just trying to stay 1 lap down as he knows if he goes 2 laps down, sees a caution flag fly, he won't be in position for a lucky dog. He will have to try to work himself back to the lead lap again in a different fashion, and it's going to be very hard for him to be able to hang on to this spot as we do see the 88 ride continue to try to pull away from the rest of these guys. He's able to open up a little bit more of a gap between himself and our race leaders, but he's right there as well. One of those drivers that was able to use the fresh tires to his advantage. He was down 2 laps, put himself back 1 lap down, but now desperately needing that caution flag is out in front. William Conley able to take that race lead away from Kevin Winker. Chris Stange around him as well, so Stange up into position number 2 as Winker back there in that 3rd position on the speedway as Jordan Hand and Grant Applegate battle door to door for position number 4 on the speedway. These drivers battling tough out there on the racetrack, man. Everyone doing a great job, giving us a great look and great perspective around the speedway on what they're doing out there on the racetrack. And Connolly, one of those drivers that gave us a good look during one of the crank it up. So we'll take another look here at our race leader as he currently leads the way out in front of the field here, giving us a great shot here of this 25 ride and what he's doing behind the wheel as he's focused in. He's got the triples rolling. You see the shifter there beside the mic and the steering wheel moving here furiously around the racetrack, trying to make sure he keeps this car pointed in the right direction. Can't make any mistakes. Has to make sure he hits his marks here. Not with that 29 rider or anyone else in the rest of the field back here or around him. Or at least that's the hope for the rest of this race. But there is still a lot of laps left to go as Kurt Jansen says congrats to Burton at Daytona. Happy to see him pass Rowdy at the end after Rowdy wrecked Barry. Yeah. Definitely a big win right there for Harrison Burton, man. That's a big win for him. It's been a long time coming to go back to victory lane. I know he picked up the Daytona 500. Did he pick up a win? I'm pretty sure he picked up a win already, but maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of when what's his name was racing that car. I can't remember his name now, but I thought Harrison got a win in that already, but maybe he didn't. I'm thinking way before. Way before, years ago. So good to see Harrison get a win there. That was a big win for him. I saw that 62 ride, though, coming up there, and, he was looking really good late in that race, and I kind of thought for a second, I threw a couple bucks on that number 62 to do good there, Parker Retzlaff, and he was right there, and I think, if he didn't get blocked a couple times, I think he might have been in that picture there late in the race to maybe win that one. That could have been a big payday for your boy. That could have been a big payday. Even just putting a couple bucks on him, man, that one would have paid out, I think, like $1,000 or something like that, $1,000 or $500. If he ended up picking up that win, man, which would have been massive, but unfortunately didn't quite work out for us there. And same with if Carson Hocevar, who was up there, or BJ McLeod, any of those guys, man, any of the long shots, put a little bit of money on. I didn't put money on Harrison Burton. He actually didn't have horrible odds on him, but now I'm kicking myself. I wish I put it all on Harrison Burton, but we can't see the future that much. But man, great look right there with that number 25 ride as he continues to lead the way. You see him starting to reel in a couple of those drivers that were able to work themselves back a lap there and back to only one lap down. They're starting to kind of balance out here with the rest of the field. They're starting to fall back ever so slightly, pushing their rides early in that run. Now you start to see them kind of falling back once again into the grips of our race leaders, and it could potentially put them in a spot where they go back down 2 laps, and that is not a spot you want to be here late in this race as He's doing a great job. Conley right there looking underneath now the 72 of Jonathan Gasson, trying to put him back 2 laps down here on the speedways. Chris Stain trying to work himself to the front of the field. You see Jordan Hand now up into 3rd. Grant Applegate there in 4th with Melvin Brandgruer there in position number 5 here. Melvin doing a great job out here on the speedway, as well as the 84 there in the 5th position. We see Josh Crider there in 6th. Landon Burbridge there in position number 7 on the speedway. Then we see Kevin Winker back there at 8th as the 42 ride. He was able to lead quite a few laps here at the start of this final stage. Unfortunately, sliding back now here into the 8th position. So as he goes backwards, a lot of drivers moving forwards here. We see Brian Underwood right there as well, currently in that 9th spot. We talked to Brian there during that 3rd stage of the evening. I didn't realize that we had 3 stages, but we did have 3 stages. So we've seen about 5 caution flags now. 2 for incidents out there on the racetrack and 3 for our stage breaks. And it's a lot of extra points, a lot of bonus points on the line here for these drivers to gain extra points, so put themselves a little farther forward in the standings. Maybe those extra bonus points towards the playoffs as well, being a big grab here at Charlotte Motor Speedway here this evening. It's Aiden Lucas in the Beyond Detailing 77 ride, rolling there in the 10th position. Danny White out there in 11th. He is the final car on the lead lap right now, as Jordan Crider sitting there in position at number 12 on the speedway. He is currently inside that free pass position right now, and he's hoping to see that caution flag. He wants to see this caution flag as quickly as possible. As get a good look here at Jordan Crider out there on the racetrack as he rolls out here on the speedway. Give us a great look here at him. He's locked in you know, that's a nice little gaming area that he's got. He's kind of surrounded there a little bit, but he's locked right in, ready to rock and roll out there, and trying to just not make any mistakes, hit his marks here. He's focused up. He's got 2 hands on the wheel, not letting go of them, making sure that he stays, you know, almost 10-2 out there on the speedway, trying to hit his marks. They here in this free pass spot could potentially get that wave around and back on the lead lap. And with, you know, with 50 laps of racing action left to go, man, it's anyone's race still. We can see an abundance of caution flags in this final 50 laps. We can see a lot of drivers work themselves back onto the lead lap. We can see a lot of drivers go more laps down as green flag pit stops potentially on the horizon here. So I think what the big number is going to be for a lot of these contenders is going to be around that lap 160 area. So around that lap 160 to about lap 165. I think that's around the area we're going to start to see these drivers head down pit side. They may try to stretch this field out maybe a little longer than that in case if we go to NASCAR overtime, they may want to try to have an extra little bit of fuel in their car so that way they can survive out there on the speedway for a little bit longer. So it's going to be interesting to see as we do see William Conley continuing to lead the way. He's actually starting to try to open up a little bit of an advantage here between himself and Chris Stange. He's got about 0.4 of a second between himself and the 29 ride. Jordan Hand right there in third as you do see the number 88 unfortunate break there for Dylan Carrier. He's going to slide back here and he will go back to being 2 laps down. Same with the 72 ride of Jonathan Gaston. Now they're going to need wave arounds. They're going to need a couple wave arounds, some more lucky breaks, some more caution flags to potentially even get themselves back onto the lead lap now at this point. Is right now they're both scored 2 laps down, and it is going to be an uphill climb to try to gain 2 laps back here and put themselves back into you know, racing contention here at the front of the field and back onto the lead lap. So they're going to have their work cut out for them. And right now you see the 69 ride who's in that free pass. He's got a little bit of a gap here, about a second between himself and that 66 ride of Ben Gleason. That is the fight for that free pass on the speedway. Thomas Horvath a little farther back in the 54 ride. He's got about 4 or 5 seconds back of that free pass position. So those guys are hoping for some caution flags, maybe a couple quick ones to get them back onto the lead lap here for the evening. But William Conley not wanting to see a caution flag at all as he is starting to stretch out that lead more and more and more as the 25 ride now out in front by about 9/10 of a second here. 9/10 of a second between himself and Chris Stange as we're going to jump to a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume here as we're going to crank it up one more time here on Peacemaker Gaming, giving you the sights and sounds, all these drivers and these cars, and here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So crank it up and cheer on your favorite driver. pit stops are underway. Green flag pit stops getting underway here as these drivers headed down pit side. Some of our race leaders included in that area. Grant Applegate down pit road as Jordan down there as well. And out in front of the field here, leading the way in the one ride. Here comes Chris Stage, here comes Applegate, here comes the 72 of Gaston, the 6 ride. Brian Underwood also down pit side as Aiden Lucas will take this race lead over here. So the 77 ride out in front, as we talked about around lap 165, was kind of the area that we kind of figured these drivers would start to come down pit road. Around at lap 160, 165, that kind of gets them within their fuel area. Now, if you stretch this out a little bit longer, it'll hurt you on the short run, but could help you on the long run here of this feature event. And, potentially that extra lap or 2 laps that you stay out on the speedway could make it good or bad for you for when it comes to our if we end up seeing some NASCAR overtime. So if overtime becomes an issue, those drivers that came down pit side a little bit earlier could potentially run out of fuel or run into fuel issues out there on the speedway. The drivers that came down a lot later could potentially end up in a decent position, could potentially end up in a good spot here for late in this race. Is out in front, going to be able to come down at a corner number 4 here and down across some of these drivers down pit side. Aiden Lucas, Kevin Winker still on pit road. William Conley will jump back out in front. So Conley leads the way here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So the 25 ride out in front here has about a 3 1/3 second lead between himself and this 5 ride. So take a look here. Even in the blimp view, we won't even see our race leader really in perspective here, as I'm sure if we'll get an angle that we can even see the whole field where we can see them. But what we can do is show you guys the track map and the positions that these drivers are running. So if you take a look here at the track map, if you look on there, you'll see the number 1. That is our race leader. And if you look right now, going down the back straightaway is our race leader. And coming out of corner number 2 there, you see the 5 ride, which is in second place. So it's about a good gap there. A pretty good gap between first and second. First is all red, going about to go down across the start-finish line. This number 5 ride, who is our second place driver, now just past the start-finish line. So a couple seconds here, a few seconds out there on the speedway. A pretty big gap for them to have to try to make up and try to figure out how to find this number 25 and put themselves back into contention for this race win, as that is a pretty sizable lead here for this 25 rider. William Conley, as Conley leads the way. Grant Applegate now into position number 2 here. Applegate actually starting to close that gap quite a bit here. He is reeling in our race leader pretty fast right now. Conley came down a little earlier than this 57. He may be able to use those fresher tires to his advantage to try to hunt down this 25, but still has a lot of ground to make up. Josh Crider right there in 3rd. Unfortunately, he's slid a little farther backwards as Jordan Hand here in that number 1 ride currently rolls in the 4th position. Chris Stage back there in position number 5 is Brian Underwood there in 6. Landon Burbage in position number 7 with Danny White, Aiden Lucas, and Kevin Winker rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. Melvin Brankbrewer there in position number 11. He is the last driver on the lead lap, as the car currently in the free pass position is Thomas Horvath. So Horvath currently in that free pass spot right now. Would love to see a caution flag and for him to get that free pass back onto the lead lap, as Ben Gleason, currently one of those drivers, 1 lap down on the racetrack as well. Jordan Crider, he is a lap down here in that 69 ride, just hoping for some caution flags back to back to try to help him into getting back that lap and back onto the lead lap. Dylan Carrier, unfortunately, a couple laps back there in the 15th position. Jonathan Gaston, Jaden Porter there, as well as my boy Rusty Martin coming in showing the love. What's good, Rusty? Rusty says, Aaron, bud, what's good, my man? What is good with you? Mr. Martin coming in showing the love here this evening. What is good, Rusty? As Rusty coming in showing the love. Rusty was one of our members over on YouTube before we got demonetized for unknown reasons, but I'm hoping September 2nd will be when we get monetized again, and we'll be able to have those memberships active here on the channel once again on YouTube. So we're hoping for that. But right now, out in front, I think a lot of these drivers in the front of the field, they're hoping to see this race go clean and green for the rest of it. Grant Applegate may be in the best position, as it seems like he's got a little bit better tire, and he's starting to use it to his advantage as he's been able to close that gap here. Lap after lap, things balance out a little bit more, though, and last time around, William Conley was actually a little quicker than Applegate, but he was able to cut that race lead by more than half between himself and that 25 ride. So we'll have to wait and see if Applegate can find another gear here in these closing laps to try to hunt down this 25 ride and see if he can take this win away from William Conley. Josh Crider rolling there in third, and then we see Jordan Hand there in position number 4, and looking for more is Brian Underwood rounding out our top 5 here on the Speedway. Then we see the number 29, Chris Stange, there in 6. Aiden Lucas, Landon Burbage, Danny White, and Kevin Winker, the top 10 out here on the Speedway. But it's all William Conley here. Late in this race, the Firefox 25 ride, timing his pit stop correctly, making sure he hits his marks, has a very fast race car, and now he's just got to try to keep himself out in front here and minimize incidences out there on the Speedway, as he's about 1.4 seconds ahead of Grant Applegate. Now, Applegate has been reeling him in here. Does he have enough in the tank for the Ricky Bobby-inspired number 57 ride to try to put himself back into contention to see if he can put this 57 ride right there into this fight at the front of the field once again? He's got a lot of ground to still make up, and anything is possible here. Now, the big question is going to be on who's got enough fuel, who's going to be able to make it to the end without having the stress. If we do see a caution flag late in this race, what's that going to do? What's that going to look like here for these drivers, for these competitors? If we see that caution flag come back out, what is going to be the call here? I'm assuming you're going to have to come down pit side, especially if it's, 5-10 laps left in this race. You're going to have to come down pit road. You got to put those fresh tires on if you have them. If you don't have an extra set of fresh tires behind pit wall, you might be hurting here quite a bit late in this race. And if there's some drivers that are back there that have saved that extra set of tires, it could play exponentially into their future here of this race and their ability to put themselves into victory lane. As you look through the field, and some of the drivers that haven't necessarily been up there all evening long that may have taken some of that tire strategy into chance. He'll be like the 42 rider, Kevin Winker, the 79 of Danny White, Melvin Brangrewer, some of these guys that maybe are still a lap down when you look at Ben Gleason, who's in that free pass position, Thomas Hovarth, Jordan Crider. Any of these guys that may have saved that tire could potentially be in the winning position late in this race. But, I mean, some of our race leaders may have saved that extra set as well, but then it becomes a big strategy call. Do you think you can hold off 3, 4, 5 drivers with those fresh tires in a 2-lap shootout to the end? Do they have enough time to make that ground up to get to the front of the field if they have that extra set of tires? Can you hold them off if they do or don't? But it's going to be a wild here, and we've seen these guys put together a lot of good green flag laps here. Obviously, this run since about lap 124 back to green flag racing, so we've seen about 60 laps of green flag run here at Charlotte Motor Speedway already with these drivers, and can they go the next 21 laps? That's the big question. Can they make it 21 laps without anyone running into issues? Whether it's contact between two competitors, where maybe they've been battling for so many laps, maybe they get frustrated, make contact, or anything else, or maybe just losing the handling of the car. We saw that earlier, just losing the handling, going around. You make that little mistake. This is a very long race. It's a lot of time behind the wheel. the fatigue has got to be setting in for some of these drivers. Some of these competitors have got to be feeling it here. And late in a race like this, that fatigue could play a hand in seeing a late race caution flag. Maybe not as focused as they'd like to be in making contact with the wall or making contact with one of the other drivers, or just making that mistake, getting onto the throttle a little too soon, or carrying too much speed, or stabbing the brake a little bit too hard and spinning the car around in front of traffic. We could see the caution flag. So anything can happen here with 20 laps left to go. Now, do we think, ladies and gentlemen, jump up into the comment section, do you think the 25 right here, William Conley is going to be able to hang on to it? Do you think he's going to put this 25 right up into victory lane? Will he be able to hang on and hold off Applegate, Crider, Hand, Underwood, and be able to put himself up here into victory lane with 19 laps left to go? We saw his lead, 5-10 laps ago be up towards that 3-second area. The tires have now started to balance out a little bit between himself and some of the other competitors back there behind him, but they are still running quicker lap times. They are still reeling him in here. Applegate currently right now, as he rolls through corner number 3 and out of 4 down the front straightaway, he's about 1.03 seconds behind our race leader. So he's about a second back here. And just there behind him, about 7/10 behind the 57 ride, we see our third place driver, Josh Crider. And Jordan Hand back there in position number 4 here on the speedway. Currently one of the faster cars here towards the front of the field. Him and Brian Underwood both laying down some pretty good lap times. Chris Stange as well, running some good lap times as well in the number 29 ride. Aiden Luke is one of the faster cars out there on the speedway. He was one of the final cars to come down pit side during that last green flag pit stop. So potentially the 77 ride, if he can keep that momentum going, could work himself into a top 5, maybe towards the top 3. Who knows where he can put himself late in this race. So Kevin Winker, Danny White, Melvin Brangruer, Landon Burbage, as they are all the drivers that are still on the lead lap, except for the 2 ride, I do believe, is now also, may also be a lap down now on the speedway. I don't think he is. It shows him in red, though, so I don't know why that's showing it. As I believe Landon Burbage is still on the lead lap there in the 11th position. Currently, our free pass position driver is the No Luck Motorsports number 66 of Ben Gleason. So Gleason is in that free pass position. If you can see that caution flag fly, he would get that free wave around back onto the lead lap. And now he's got a big gap between himself and Jordan Crider. Crider, one of those drivers that's also looking to try to hopefully see that caution flag. He may need a couple quick back-to-backers here to get himself back onto the lead lap. As right now only 2 drivers, 1 lap down. Ben Gleason, Jordan Crider, and 11 cars on the lead lap here. So couple caution flags could bring in a couple more competitors, a couple different drivers to work themselves potentially inside the top 10 here before the end of the night. But right now, continuing to hold down the lead, continue to stay out in front, but that lead is shrinking. William Conley out in front. The gap now, you see it closing here as the 57 ride comes into camera shot. He is in about 0.6 of a second behind our race leader now. So 0.6 of a second between William Conley, Grant Applegate. You see the number 5 ride of Jordan Crider. He's about 1.5 seconds behind our race leader. Jordan Hand right there as well in the 1 machine. Hand, last time by, ran quicker lap time than the 3 cars in front of him. So he is currently the fastest car out of our top 4 on the speedway. Can he find enough groove? Can he hang on to these tires long enough to put himself up into this fight at the front of the field? Will he even have enough time to hunt down our race leaders? But if Applegate can get to William Conley here at the front of the field, what happens if they start battling door to door? Contact could be made, a little bit of rubbing and scrubbing. The loss of momentum and speed out of both of those cars could bring some of these other competitors back there behind them right into the fight, and we may see another amazing race at the front of the field here for the top spot, because Crider's right there ready to bounce. Same with that 1 ride of Jordan Hand. His Hand is actually reeling in that number 5 ride in a quick hurry. You see Brian Underwood back there in position number 5 there in the 6 ride. So he's having a good run. He was hoping for a top 5 run here in this evening, potentially a win, but I think he'll be pretty psyched, pretty happy about that 6th place run here out of the Gaston's iRacing Graphics number 6 ride as the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Race here at the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway, slowly but surely coming to a close. William Conley down across the line is going to click off another lap here. 11 laps left to go. 11 laps here for these drivers, as my boy Rusty says, must be you, because too much you potty mouth. Oh my gosh, too much potty mouth? What in the world? There's never too much potty mouth out there, brother. Never too much potty mouth. You know it. You know it. And out in front, Conley leading the way. Applegate back in second. He's actually lost a little bit of ground now to our race leader, as he was able to reel him in almost about half a second between himself and the 25 ride. William Conley, who was maybe just waiting patiently, trying to save a little bit of his equipment for late in this race. Once that gap kind of got down to about half a second, he's been able to pull away here, and now back out in front by about 9/10, almost a full second between himself and the 57 ride here once again. So William Conley possibly playing it smart here, had that big advantage, had quite a bit of ground between himself and the rest of the field, and now maybe using that to his advantage here to start to pull away here in these closing laps, really making it that much more difficult for these drivers, or maybe just a little bit more focused up, maybe a little bit more inside the seat here, and just trying to hit his marks, man, not make these mistakes, maybe push that car a little bit harder than what he was before to find the speed to try to keep these drivers back there at bay. There's only 10 laps left to go, well, 9 laps left to go, 8 more laps this time by the start-finish line, as this one's coming to a close, ladies and gentlemen, and a quick hurry here is down across the line. 8 more laps for the 25 ride, as I do believe one of our longest races of the year here is we are sim time here. Since these drivers got loaded in down pit side, we're already rolling up onto the 2-hour marker, and that's what we're talking about, the fatigue. Not only for me, but the fatigue for these drivers out there on the racetrack as well. 2 hours behind the seat here, especially after qualifying, and a lot of time behind the seat doing practice and everything else. Some of these drivers might be feeling it. They may be feeling pretty tuckered out right now. I'm sure a lot of these guys are going to want to get to bed here to quick hurries. This race is continuing on, and this is where we see issues start to become a problem. But right now, 11 drivers still on the lead lap. The number 66 of Ben Gleason currently in that free pass position. He would love to see a caution flag. I think a lot of the other drivers out there on the racetrack, they do not want to see a yellow flag, especially this 25 ride, as maybe some of the other ones just outside the top 5 wouldn't mind seeing that yellow flag. Potentially could work into their favor here late in the race, especially if pit strategy starts to come into play for that. When top 5 decides not to come down pit side, everyone else behind them does come down pit side, or fuel mileage may come into play here, and drivers may be getting a little bit shy on fuel if they're on the racetrack. May have to back it up a little bit more to try to save some of that gas. As in front, William Conley still about a second lead between himself and Grant Applegate, as Applegate now has that 5 ride of Josh Crider and the 1 of Jordan Hand right there on his back bumper. As a good battle here for position number 2 starting to brew. 57 down low, the 5 right up on the high side, looking for a big run down the back straightaway, but they are all back here behind our race leader, and this is exactly what William Conley wants to see. He wants to see these drivers duke it out door to door here for quite a few laps here, where he can try to extend that lead, build that advantage up a little bit more, and just run away with this one as they battle here for position number 2. Got himself a pretty good advantage now as they battle here. Applegate's really holding them up. He's hurting the chances of Josh Crider or Jordan Hand to trying to hunt down our race leader. Now that's all his God-given right to be able to try to block these guys, throw blocks, everything else, as he wants to pick up as many points here as possible and coming home with a solid second place run. Could be a huge difference maker in the regular season points and for playoff points and everything else. So he's not going to back up and give them these positions easily, and you can see that working perfectly for him as he hangs on to position number 2. Now Hand going after the 5 right of Josh Crider for position number 3 here on the speedway. But as that was all happening, William Conley was able to stretch out this race lead to 1.2 seconds between himself and Grant Applegate, and that's exactly what he was hoping that would do. He's hoping that they may do it 1 or 2 more times here to really make sure he can breathe easy and kind of take a nice, chill, relaxing couple final laps around the speedway as 2 more laps left to go. The twin sticks into the air here for the number 25 rider, William Conley, as he's got 2 more laps left to go out there on the speedway. We're going to pull his webcam up right here where you guys are going to be able to get a good look here at this 25 ride and see just how focused he is. He's going to be making sure that he does not want to see a caution flag here, but we'll get a good look whether or not, he sees that yellow flag, but he's looking for the white flag right here. This will make it official. The next flag will end it as the white flag has been displayed here for William Conley. Is Conley looking to pick up the checkered flag here this evening? Still over 1.2 seconds between himself and our second place driver, Applegate. As Applegate back there in position number 2, but for the final time, down the back straightaway into quarter number 3. William Conley, still with over a second lead, will head down through quarter number 3 and out of quarter number 4 in the 25 ride. The Firefox machine of William Conley will pick up the win here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League endurance race here from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway, as 200 laps into the history books in the 25 ride, able to pick up the checkered flag and pull himself into victory lane here on the evening. You saw the fist bumps, you saw that celebration out of the 25 ride as he was able to bring this one to a close and put himself up into victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see some congratulations up in the comment section right now for this 25 ride. A heck of a run, a heck of a drive there late in this race, and now he's going to do what every driver here that loaded into the simulator wanted to do all evening long. He's going to get ready to burn down the house here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll have to wait and see if he decides to burn it down or not. He's rolling there just on the front straightaway, but possibly picking up that checkered flag, getting ready to celebrate here with him and his crew and everything else. Man, what a run and what a drive here for that 25 ride. You get a good look at him up there as well, as he is absolutely psyched to be up here in victory lane. Let's get him up here right now, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our race winner, William Conley. Hey, Will, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Will, brother, what a run, what a races. You're able to pull this car up into victory lane, man. We saw you there in those closing laps. We saw you go across the line. You're giving some fist bumps right there as you were absolutely thrilled to be able to cross this start-finish line as our race winner in race number 6 here of the regular season in the Premium Stock Car Racing League, man. Take us back through this one and how excited you were there at the end of this race.
Oh man, I was excited. I was very hoping a caution would not come out because I accidentally took a set twice on the final stage. And then I ran out of gas when I came to the line. That was fun.
Absolutely. So some of the things we were talking about there late in this race were very, very close, because we talked about, drivers having to maybe try to save that extra set of tires back behind pit wall. Now, I don't know how many drivers had that extra set or may have used it early on in this race and possibly were in that same position that you were, right? So there might have been a couple guys with that extra set of tires that might have just been able to blow the doors off you guys late in this one. And then the fuel as well. We saw you be one of those first drivers to come back down pit side for the final green flag run of pit stops. I figured, fuel might get a little bit tight here, not only for yourself, but a few of those competitors back there behind you, and didn't realize it was that close, that you're only able to cruise around the speedway there for one more lap before running out. So if we did see that caution flag, you would have been in a world of hurt.
Oh yeah. I'd say about half the field took a set on that first stage, and if it came out, then I was just screwed either way. So I wanted to put them on the back end by pitting first, since I was up in front in the first place, and it worked out.
Absolutely. Well, it definitely works out here for you. Now, we did see as things kind of cycled through, obviously coming down a little bit earlier, we saw Applegate able to, eat away at a bit of that lead that you had, as we were sitting out there about 3.5 seconds, and all of a sudden Applegate was closing up on you in a quick hurry, and as he kind of got within a second and a half, things kind of balanced out there for a little bit, but then slowly but surely he chipped away at it were you taking the car a little bit easy there? Because once we saw him kind of get within that half a second of your back bumper, you started to pull
Yeah.
back away again there in those closing laps. I don't know if you were maybe just trying to save that extra little bit of fuel, or maybe just trying to take it easy and save some equipment for later on in that run, if he caught you, to be able to do exactly what you did and pull the back away from him and give yourself that upper hand there late in the race.
Right. I was saving for the first 10 or so laps, and then I saw his pace and I was like, "Oh crap, I have to move now." So I had to up my pace a little bit. And luckily it evened out when he was like a second behind. Like I was pushing it to stay in front of him eventually once he got there because his pace on that first stint was crazy.
Absolutely, definitely hunting you down in a quick hurry. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to catch you or not, or if you were going to be able to hold him off there late in this race, but it all works out perfectly here for you as you park that Firefox number 25 right up here on the front straightaway and in victory lane here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here on the evening?
Thanks, mom and dad. Thanks the admins for putting together the race. I know it's hard, especially when half the field runs out of gas on the final stage and don't know what to do. It was a crazy night. And thanks, Josh, for talking me down and reassuring me in chat when Applegate got a little too close.
Absolutely. Applegate was hunting you down there, man. You were able to hold them all off, though, and put yourself up here in victory lane. And now, this is, I know in the one schedule, it called this an endurance race, and that's exactly what this was. It was the Premium Stock Car Racing League's endurance race here. I don't know if we have more of these throughout the season, but this was definitely a long one, man. It's we went green flag pretty early on in this race, and as I look up at the scoreboard right now on SDK, this racing took over 2 hours on the speedway here from the drop of the green flag down to the checkered flag. So a whole long time there, 2 hours behind the wheel, no brakes, no nothing except for a couple little caution flags that you kind of got the wind back into your sails there for a couple laps, got the cruise, but no bathroom breaks, no opportunities to go get a bite to eat or even really make yourself another drink. So how do you kind of plan for a long race like this, and how do you stay focused throughout 200 laps in a long run like this one?
Mhm. The important bit is to practice your pit stops. I know some don't, but before the race and it messes them up. You really have to get your pit stops down. The second thing is no, it's a long race. You have to save your stuff. I think the long race it works for me. I enjoy to save a bit. Um, like at the end of each stage, I went up to the front of the pack each time, and I just could not pass. And I'm just glad I got the position in the final restart to actually be up front and do it.
Absolutely. Now, how do you mentally, stay focused out there on the racetrack for, 2+ hours out there on the speedway between all the ups and downs and stage breaks and everything else? How do you mentally stay focused out there on the racetrack without, making too many mistakes on the speedway?
Well, it's I don't know. I guess you just get in the zone. I mean, it's the same. It's each turn is unique as far as right. It's very close. So as long as you get it right there, then most of the time you can just drive through it. But um yeah, it's just be inside the zone and just want to win the race.
Absolutely. Well said, brother. As Will, congratulations being able to pick up the win here. Pull that Firefox number 25 right up here into victory lane, brother. Hopefully we see more and more trips up here into the broadcast booth for you as that Firefox always fast out there on the speedway. And man, a big win here this evening for you. Maybe a little bit of momentum builder and more trips into victory lane here for yourself throughout this season.
All right, thank you very much.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and go celebrate down in victory lane. Get a cool one, India.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, William Conley, as he picks up the win, pulls his 25 ride up into victory lane, man. What a run and what a drive there for him on the evening, man. That's a lot of hard work out there on the racetrack and be able to make sure you hit your marks lap after lap after lap, man. It's got to be a tough thing to do here each and every one of these races. We'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, the number 57, Mr. Applegate, coming home here in position at number 2. We'll get ready to pull Grant up into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. Hey, Grant, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I believe so.
Grant, brother, another good run, another strong performance here for you. We saw you lead laps in that first stage. We saw you battle it hard here throughout the rest of this race, but unfortunately right there at the end as you were trying to track down that 25 ride, it seemed like the car kind of fell off a little bit there in those final 10 laps or so and just couldn't quite get back to the rear bumper of William Conley here for the race lead.
Yeah, I was just probably pushing too hard and missing my marks. I don't even think I burnt the tires off of it. I think just pushing too hard and missing the turn and screwing up.
Absolutely, as the laps were counting down, the pressure was on to try to make up that ground there, and you got so close to him there, about half a second back there late in this race as you were right there, almost in striking distance to take that race lead away from him. You were in this one. Unfortunately, had to settle back in here as he started to open up that gap. He started to fall back a little bit, able to hold on and hold off a couple hard chargers right there as we saw Jordan Hand and Josh Crider for a few laps trying to get around you. They were hassling you there for position number 2. You're able to kind of block him, take the preferred line away from him there late in this race and hang on to that second position.
Yeah, once I kind of got pushed tight and got in the wall, and I had some damage. I don't know how much, but at that point I just kind of settled in and just run the bottom. I mean, I didn't feel like I could get past. I mean, they were obviously quicker. They caught me, but I mean, I don't really think, well, you're so tight at the end of the run that the top's hard to run. So, and then with them racing each other for third on top of that, I just felt like if I hold my line, they'll race each other, and that's what they did, and kind of drew themselves back away from me and gave me a little bit of room.
Absolutely, as they kind of fell back there, duked it out between themselves. You were able to hang on here for that second spot on the Speedway, and after 200 laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, I'm sure you're a little bit tuckered out as this is a very long race. You guys had to sit behind the steering wheel here for quite a while here on the evening. Now, we talked about William and about, his strategy out there on the Speedway, but, what's your strategy coming into a long race like this? Having to know that you gotta not only mentally be prepared for a long race, but physically prepared for a long race as well. How do you get ready for a long race like tonight?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't run much league racing, especially super long races like this. This was my first race that was this long. But I was good for the first probably 175 laps, and pushing there at the end, I started to tense up and all that, trying to push and drive it and all that. So, I mean, I was fine for the first 175 laps, and then just at the very end, trying to push probably starts to wear you out. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a video game, quotation marks, so it's not a huge deal. I'm not getting G-force put through me or anything like that, so.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but it's still a lot of time to not only be physically focused into a race, trying to make sure you hit your marks lap after lap, or run into your foot or your leg or something, going dead, or losing a little feeling in it, or just the wear and tear on your arms or your shoulders and everything throughout a long race like this is you can definitely start to feel that, as he said, late in this run, in those final 25 laps, starting to feel that little bit of tightness and soreness probably between your arms and everything else, and your chest and your back, and it tends to be a little bit difficult out there after that many laps. And you got to think when they come here for Daytona, or not for Daytona, but for the 600 here, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, they do virtually like 60 something laps more than this. So you guys were probably like 400 miles this evening. So it's a long time. It's a lot of laps that you have to be not only physically prepared for, but mentally prepared for as well, because you can lose your focus out there in a quick hurry, especially during some of these long green flag runs out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, I've always been good at being able to stay focused in races and be just consistent. So the mental aspect I've never had issues with, but yeah, my hands are my only real problem because, just gripping too tight, trying to push too hard. So other than that, yeah, but it's a long race, but it's not the longest race ever, I guess.
Yeah. 100%, brother, but you're able to do a great job of it. Hang on to that wheel and put yourself up here onto the podium to finish off the evening. Grant, who would you like to thank for a great run and a great performance here this evening at Charlotte Motor Speedway?
I just thank everybody who puts on the show. I mean, we wouldn't be here without people putting on a show, so appreciate everybody who puts the time and effort into making everything work.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we appreciate you coming out and having some fun out here on the Speedway and putting on a great race for us there late in this one, trying to hunt down that 25 ride. Unfortunately, one spot shy for you here this week, but hopefully next Saturday we'll see you right back out there on the Speedway and maybe a one spot better and back up into victory lane for yourself.
Hopefully. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely, brother. Well, good luck out there in the next one, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And maybe go get a cold one or something, man. As that was a lot of work out there for you guys.
Alrighty. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for the 57 ride of Grant Applegate. Is Applegate coming home there in position number 2? A good run, a solid run there for the 57 ride as he comes home in that second spot. We'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, the one rider, Jordan Hand. We'll pull Hand in here for his post-race interview. Hey, Jordan, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jordan, man, a bit of a bumpy start here to the evening, but you're able to turn it around here throughout this one as we saw you able to lead some laps, have your car there at the front of the field, and bring it home with a solid third-place run. But we saw contact early in this race. Little 3-wide, you and Jaden Porter get together. You go down through the infield, luckily enough, avoiding contact with that inside wall. No caution flag, though, so you end up falling quite a few seconds back from the pack, and you had to try to battle back from that. And all evening long, you were able to kind of chip away at that, and before lap 100 we see a lead in this race here. Luckily enough, a very long race and a couple stage breaks in there as well to really bring the field back to you, able to use some of that pitch strategy and everything to get yourself right up here inside the top 3 to finish off this race, man. Take us back through it. What was going through your mind there after that contact with the 74?
Pissed off. I mean, I didn't know we were 3 wide. He got I probably chirped out on the mic too quick because I didn't know we were 3 wide, but in the moment I was pretty pissed off. I can't lie. But I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I don't know really what happened. So if we did go 3 wide, I can't blame him, to be upset. But I don't know. From in-car, it seemed like one hell of a save, but I don't know. I'll have to go back and check it out. But I gotta blame myself. I screwed up in qualifying. I kissed the wall pretty good and screwed it all up. But yeah, man, definitely felt like we had the fastest car here. Just let one slip through.
Absolutely, but now late in this race, we see different pit strategies during that final green flag pit stop, and you come out, you're storming through the field again, making up a couple of those spots, and you're closing the gaps between yourself and Josh Crider and that 57 ride of Grant Applegate. What did you need a little bit more of late in this race to maybe get around Josh a little quicker, maybe go after that 57 ride to put yourself into second and be able to maybe run down our race leader here late in this one?
Man, honestly, it's just timing. Honestly, I think I had a little bit more pace than Connolly. I mean, just with that fresh air, I definitely think that was an advantage to him. I honestly didn't think they were going to make it on fuel, but with him being up front, I figured he'd be able to save. And plus, he had lap cars, so he was able to draft off them and get some, pull from that. But I think we just lost a little bit of time there before that final pit stop. I was going down low to pass Chris, I think, into 2. And, we were just on old tires. He was expecting me to clear him, and I couldn't get to the throttle quick enough to be able to do it, and ended up losing 2 more positions because of that to Applegate and Crider. And then I think that one kind of sets back too much to be able to ring it back in. But nevertheless, back-to-back top 3s after a pretty crappy start to the season. You will take it, but would have loved a W tonight.
Absolutely, that W would have been so much better than a third place run, but you got to be pretty happy though. I mean, we didn't really see abundance of issues out there on the speedway, not a lot of contact or caution flags for incidences out there on the speedway, but obviously having the 3 stages, you were able to get some stage points and a solid good run here to finish off the night. You got to be pretty happy with the performance and the big picture with all the extra points that you're able to gain here on the evening towards that championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we were able to get a stage win, so that definitely helps. But you just it's mile and a half. I love, so it sucks not getting that W. But yeah, absolutely, man. Take all the points you can get, especially with Matthew. Matthew is one of the best drivers I've ever seen on iRacing. So he's got one hell of a lead. So just get all the bonus points we can to get in the playoffs, and you just never know what can happen.
Absolutely, brother. You never know what can happen. But here tonight, we saw quite a bit of ups and downs for drivers and a great rebound here for yourself as you're able to put that one right up here inside the top 3, back up on the podium. Jordan, who would you like to thank for a great run and a great performance here at Concord, North Carolina?
I always got to shout out the wife. She let me get a little bit of practice time in earlier, much the kiddo, so I'm going to shout her out. Shout out all my buddies watching. Appreciate them, tuning in every week to the great broadcast that you put out. And then also just thank everybody in the league, man. We got a great group of guys here, put on some great racing. I mean, hell, we were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're within a second and 2 seconds. I mean, it was great racing. So I hope everybody enjoyed it at home. Thanks to all the admins, the owners, Brian and Josh. But yeah, and appreciate you putting on a good show as well for the broadcast, bud.
Absolutely, brother. Always my pleasure. Jordan, a great run, a great drive. Hopefully next week we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth as this momentum continues to keep on rolling for you. And hopefully next week maybe a little bit better and up a couple spots and in victory lane yourself.
Brother, I doubt it. Next week, I think we're going to dirt. That is not my thing. So maybe we'll just skip next week. I'll see the following week, man.
Okay, well, it's going to mix things up even more there. But, you never know, brother. I mean, hey, those trucks, I guess you guys are in the trucks, or are you guys back in these?
Yeah, I think it's the trucks for the dirt race. They couldn't find any set up for the Xfinity cars.
I didn't think they would. So the trucks aren't too bad there on the dirt. So in Eldora, it's pretty wide. It's pretty fun. I mean, so just maybe a little extra practice here throughout the week, and maybe you can be the car to beat.
Hey, man, if I get top 3 at a road course, you never know what can happen.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. Jordan, enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations again on the 3rd place run.
Hey, you too, buddy. Hey, I want to shout out Theo Connolly for the W. Congrats, brother.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher. The number 1 ride of Jordan Hand. His hand comes home here in position number 3. A great run and a great drive there for the 1 ride. Unfortunately, though, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it here for the evening as racing actions come to a close. Cars are getting loaded onto the haulers. Post-race inspections been done here, and William Conley is our official race winner here on the evening from Charlotte Motor Speedway in the beautiful North Carolina, Concord, North Carolina here, and that's going to be it for the rest of the evening. Unfortunately, we're going to call it there on that note, but I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in here throughout this race with the likes, the comments, the shares, coming in, showing the love there with all those, as every like, comment, and share helps the stream grow to more and more people. Even if we're currently not live, leaving comments in the comment section on the post-race live helps it grow more and more as well. It pushes it out to more people to be able to jump in here and see all these all these amazing competitors battle hard out there on the racetrack, and shows love to all of our sponsors and everything at the league as well. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, and make sure you drop a couple comments here on the broadcast. And huge thank you to anyone that came in, any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming in and becoming part of the Peacemaker family here on the evening. And welcome to one of the best places to be here for motorsports action here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Kick. We're pretty much everywhere now, but live streaming over on Kick, on Twitch, YouTube and Facebook here this evening, and I can't thank any of the new followers and subscribers enough for becoming part of the family. And huge shout out to everyone else tuning in, showing the love here throughout the evening, all the drivers coming out and putting on a great show here for us throughout the evening. A long race, a lot of laps, a lot of time behind the wheel here on the simulator, and we saw all these drivers put in a ton of work and a ton of great racing here for us on the night, and I can't thank them enough for being a part of the show and putting on a show here for us in this one. Huge shout out again to our race winner, William Conley. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, and I will see you guys all back here. I don't think we got anything going on tomorrow night, but we might get something going. Maybe put up a random lobby or something tomorrow afternoon. I'm not 100% sure, but right now, none of our Sunday leagues are in action, as we got there's a big money race going on tomorrow evening that we're not broadcasting. So our league that we were going to be doing tomorrow, and they decided to push back for a week, so that way everyone could be a part of that show or be able to watch it and everything else. So we'll be off tomorrow, so I'm not sure what we're going to be doing or if we're going to be live, but I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you guys updated in the community tab and over on the Facebook channel and over on Twitter as well. But listen, can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, coming in, showing the love here all evening long, and I will see you guys all back here in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
Revolutionize the way you see your car with the hottest trends in sim racing. At NJBDesigns.com, we specialize in transforming your vehicle into a work of art. Whether you're looking to add a sleek matte finish, a flashy chrome accent, or a custom design that turns heads, our designer has you covered. Imagine winning in a car that reflects your personality or promotes your business and style. Choose from a wide range of colors, textures, and finishes to suit every taste and occasion. Why settle for ordinary when you can stand out from the crowd? Visit njbdesigns.com today and let our team of professionals bring your vision to life. Transform your car, transform your journey, and be a champion, and choose us.